I take it and I dribble all down the court again. And then I just, from the left side, I did a right-handed layup. I'm down in the Dominican. I'm hammered. I don't need to do it with I can throw it up with the right because I'm right-handed. Nobody cares, right?
Yeah.
But then somebody's cherry picking. And it's a kid who's probably 8 to 10 years old. No way. Not on my watch. I didn't come down there to give up easy American buckets.
That's how it's done.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Athletic Aesthetic Podcast. My name is Vinny.
My name is Trey.
Trey, we got a banger of an episode today, man.
I would agree.
I think this one's probably the longest episode that we've done, but I promise you, it's a top 5. I'm just gonna say
by far. Super funny. It's about a Pittsburgh legend. I don't even know if people know some of the stuff that we found out today. I said something to somebody the other day, and they're like, "There's no way that's true."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
People listen. So if you watch the intro clip, you know that our guest. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you're not from Pittsburgh. Our guest is Mikey. He is known as Mikey. He's the other half of Big Bob. He's the smaller, taller half of Big Bob.
No, see, and that's the thing though. Like, I don't even understand on how Big Bob got Big Bob, and Mikey's not big something. Because the guy's like 6'9" and all of 6'9".
Yeah, no facts. But dude, I learned so much about him just as a person. I've listened to him over the years on the radio, but you can only get so much of someone through the radio because he has his role is to lift people up on the radio. We got deep on this.
Yes,
we
we
talked
did.
about some things going on. You'll see from the jump in his life. And we talked about some of our favorite sports moments. And there's everything in this episode that, this is the episode I'm going to show a lot of people when I talk about our show. We had a great
100%.
convo. He's a great guest. He's a Pittsburgh legend. And, man, I can't wait for you guys to watch this. So I guess without further ado, you ready to just send her in?
Get it cracking.
Let's get it, baby.
Is my audio good? Am I good here? Am I in a good position and everything?
Yeah, you look great, dude.
Okay.
By the way,
I don't know about
looking
that.
great over there. It's popping. How are you today, man? How's life? How's the break between the holidays? I know you've posted a few things where it just feels like absolutely chaos.
Man,
is
that's
life?
a loaded question. How are you doing?
Yeah.
That's like not an easy answer, I don't think.
It's never an easy answer.
Because how many people like really ask you about that? Like your family might when you wake up, but just like, I got a lot going on in my life,
Yeah.
I was just in Philadelphia for a couple days seeing like an eye specialist because I've been dealing with like concussions for a couple years and like haven't been right. So luckily my wife's best friend works with her wife and she's an eye specialist in Philly. So I went there because she was telling me about this thing you can have with your eyes where your eyes aren't aligned right. And like, I took this 3-hour eye exam and now I got to get these special glasses and everything.
Really?
And I just learned that I got to wear glasses like for the rest of my life. And it's like,
And you've never wore glasses before?
I did. I used to, but then I got like, I got LASIK surgery.
Okay.
So my vision is still perfect, but like, and I don't want to get into like boring eye stuff, but like you asked me how I'm doing and like I'm dealing with this now. And it's like the craziest thing because basically my two eyes don't focus on one thing at the same time. So my eyes are always sort of like jumping, trying to make two things into one. And it might have led to
Sorry, go ahead.
it might have led to like a bunch of anxiety, depression. I always get mad at my wife because I think she's driving like a maniac and about to hit the car in front of us when really like it's been me the whole time because my right eye has been working with my left eye. So when you ask me how I'm doing, like I'm actually in the week right now before I learned I have this condition and before I get my glasses. So this week kind of sucks.
Man,
You in the storm right now.
I knew that like you really actually, I felt it when I asked you, how are you doing? Like I connected with you and I was like, this isn't just going to be, I'm doing good, man. How are you? Like you're going through something right now.
But it's like I have to get these special like micro prism glasses and it's gonna have like a yellow tint, which is kind of cool because little explosion right there.
Yeah,
you know?
baby,
So,
let's go.
Like if you see
Terrible sunglasses.
So like Simon Cowell on America's Got Talent, he wears these like pink tinted glasses.
Yeah.
And that's basically what I'll have to wear with a little yellow tint
You
just
have
to
an
make like my
excuse-
eyes work.
Oh,
You
so
have an
your
excuse
swag's
to
about
be like
elevate.
to look cool all the
Yeah.
time now.
His
Yeah.
swag's about to elevate 10
Yeah.
times.
Seriously, because they're like, is it okay if there's like a little yellow tint? I'm like, for my eyes to work, I will wear a clown nose.
Yeah.
I won't care because like if there's all these problems that I've been dealing with, and it might have been my eyes, like, you know, the different things misdiagnosed or like different things where I thought it was normal. And like seeing things like this, and now I see things like this. So I've already tried these glasses on, and then I had them taken away from me because they got to like make my prescription. So like,
Yeah.
I'm basically in hell week right
Oh,
now,
wow.
where I
So
know
you've
my
kinda had
eyes
a-
are messed up,
Yeah,
but I
you-
got to wait for the glasses to
And
come.
you've
and
seen what it looks like.
yeah, I know.
Oh wow.
So it's like I broke my leg, but I'm just hobbling around and haven't got casted yet.
Man.
How
So,
do you feel about that? Like, I know that's an emotional roller coaster at some point in time, right? And if you don't mind sharing, like,
Yeah.
I'd like to know, like, how do you feel? Do you feel great that you know that these glasses are gonna help?
Yeah.
Or do you feel somewhat nervous? Like, what's your feelings right now?
it's a little bit of both. Like I'm excited. Like the day I told my wife Jamie, I told her that like the day after I had got diagnosed with this, and they like, I mean, the list of symptoms, it was just like my life for the past
You felt
however many
seen,
years. I'm like,
probably.
oh my gosh, I thought this was just my concussions, or I thought this was this. And it's like, I feel relieved, but I feel like I need to wait till I have these glasses and know that this is the right answer and know that it's, you know, helping
Yeah.
me with all these things. So like, I'm excited, but like, I'm still nervous that it's like not gonna work. Like I know it does. I've wore the glasses
Right.
before. It was funny because the first thing I said when I was getting these glasses and I stood up was, I can't believe how tall I am. I'm serious. Like I'm 6'9".
Really?
I'm super tall. And for however long in my life, I've been like, one of the things you do is like you lean a little bit and you're
Right.
always stretching your neck and stuff like that. And my eye care specialist was just like, yeah, you've never really felt how tall you are because your eyes are misaligned and you're
wow.
always trying to make. So like I legit stood up with these glasses on and like, I
Whoa.
mean, wait, can we swear on here?
Yeah, we can swear.
Okay, you both looked at me like, don't do it.
I didn't
I'm
hear
like,
what you said.
I was like, holy am I really this tall? Like I was stunned because I've always felt tall, but I've never felt like I
As
felt like
tall
I
as
was
you
on top
were.
of a building. So that was
Yeah.
my initial thing where I
Just
felt
walk
it.
home like things are different now, baby.
Yeah,
But,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm actually all of 6'9".
But
now.
it was so cool because they're like family. So I
Yeah.
rode home. We were giving her a ride home that night, and she's like, "Do you mind wearing your glasses? Because I never get to go home with patients." And so I'm like, "Yeah." So I'm driving in the car with these glasses on that have all these things on them and everything like that.
Yeah.
You know, like straight from the eye doctors and everything. And so it was cool because I'm helping her out, and this is sort of like a new man. I didn't think I was going to talk about my eyes, but you asked me how I was doing,
Dude,
and now here I go.
bring it on, man.
sure.
That's what I love.
love this.
I love about podcasting is that like most times we sit down with a guest, we don't know where the conversation's going to go. Like I
Yeah.
know I can sit down with you right now, and I've done enough research that I could ask you where you started, how you got into radio, how you've went from Detroit to Philly to Pittsburgh to all these different night shows. I've done
Yeah.
my research,
Yeah.
but like there's amazing interviews out already, and I think I know a few of the guys who've interviewed you that they've told your story, and I'm not saying that I don't want to retell your story, but like I want people listen to you, bro, like every single day of their life, pretty much, and I wonder how many have just scratched the surface with like who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like if I can help shed a new light on I'm sure 99.9% of Pittsburgh didn't know that you were going through this eye thing. So
Yeah,
now when they listen
nobody.
to your show and they're like, ah, damn, like this is a real person with real things. That's what I try to do with the
Yeah.
athletes on the shows because people think they look at the athlete as the X's
Just
and
the
O's, the
athlete.
guy who dropped the ball or caught the touchdown,
Yeah.
and that's where they live with that person. You're the guy who runs the morning show, but like you're a person, and like I want to help tell that story too. So like,
100%.
thank you
Yeah.
for being willing to share
I
a
mean,
personal thing.
you asked me how I was doing. I don't get that very often. And I could have just told you I'm fine and go to the next thing. But like, this is a really weird week for me.
I ain't gonna lie, I respect that, man, because most people would say that.
Yeah.
Just say like I'm good, right? And then they end up lying to everybody on how they really feel, right?
Yeah.
And you kept it real. You're processing right now. You're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's
but it's
real,
weird
man.
too because like part of me feels cheated because I've done so many different like appointments and I've had concussions and my concussion doctors have been great and everything, but like I don't know if I hit my head one time and it just like But there's a whole bunch of things like I had mono when I was in high school right after I was in the hospital for like 3 weeks with spinal meningitis. Like my whole senior year of high school was like basically scrapped. I didn't play sports. I didn't go to prom. Like I was in the hospital for like 3 weeks with spinal meningitis, then got mono right after that. And my eye specialist, she was asking me all about it and everything. And I'm like, why do you need to know that? And she's like, she kept telling me it's all connected. She felt like the gif of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Where it's like, it's all connected.
Yeah.
That's how I feel like with my eyes. Like there's so many things and like, I am not coordinated at all. I'm 6'9". Like God gave me the gift of height, and I was just like, nah, I'm good. Like, I feel so bad because the first question I always get is like, oh, how tall are you? And then the follow up is always just like,
Did you play basketball?
do you play basketball? And when you tell them no,
Not gonna lie, hurt automatically.
it hurts.
Like,
It hurts, right?
Yeah.
Like when I have to tell people I'm not a basketball player, it's like I already disappoint them.
It's like you like personally like did something to them.
Like they're just like, really? If I was that tall, I'd be in the NBA. It'd be like, no.
No.
If
No,
you
you
were that
wouldn't.
tall, you'd be embarrassing your ass at the YMCA like whenever I try to play. But
Yeah, if
know,
you were
that's-
like 5'9", bro, you'd probably be real coordinated. It takes a lot of coordination to control
That's
a 6'9" body.
6'9's a
Like-
lot of body. I'll tell you that right now. That's a long way up.
so like my freshman year of high school, that summer going into sophomore year, I grew 6 inches in
Wow.
one summer.
Wow.
So like I
That's
went
crazy.
from being normal size to being like one of the tallest, if not the tallest kids in the school over one summer as like a sophomore.
Wow.
And now I look back at it and just like, well, if my eyes were like a little misaligned or something like that, no wonder I like kind of sucked at basketball.
You might have,
For real, you might have been elite.
bro.
Yeah, I was like tripping all over myself. That's the
Yeah.
excuse I'm going to give myself
Hey.
on why I was never in the league or anything.
I'm here
like
for
that.
it, bro. Like, listen, if I was, I don't know. I was trying to think of some excuse to say why I'd be in the NFL, but like,
Nah, never.
I try to do that on every episode, and this guy reminds me of it as to why I wouldn't have been.
But
all
like,
right.
it's all right. We talk about how much like sports means in our life, and every city, and whether it's high school football or an NFL team or something like that. It's like sports means so much to just our culture and everything. I think that's why I disappoint people when it's just like the person at Giant Eagle who doesn't know what I do for a living,
Right.
and just sees me as the tall person who can literally grab everything in the store. There is no show. They can't hide anything on Giant Eagle. I can get, you want to put it on top of the frozen foods? I can get it without even trying.
Yeah, you shop top shelf just by
Top
like,
shelf.
just you're like,
Helping
what are you
old
talking about? This
ladies
is eye level.
all day.
So now I got a question for you, man. What's the biggest positive you're taking away from this new thing that's happening for you, man? You getting the glasses and whatnot. What's something that you're excited about?
I think I'm going to be a different person. Like, I think I'm a good person. I think I'm a nice person. But I feel like there might be more to me because I'm constantly fighting to have my eyes look at the same thing. So even when I'm just sitting at home, like watching TV or on my phone or trying to read a book or at work looking at screens, my eyes are always like,
Moving.
always moving. So like once that calms down, like I can't wait to see how it positively impacts.
Well, I mean, that's got to have a mental strain on you,
100%.
like
Oh,
to
it's
the
crazy.
point where, your brain, it's like when your computer's got too many tabs open, and you're like, why are the vents going crazy, bro? Like your brain is just trying to see things clearly. And then you finally get to close out some of these tabs with the glasses. And then you're like, I can breathe. Like I
Right.
can like enjoy this moment. I don't have to be stressed about the fact that I got to drive and deal with traffic and the lights at night and all this stuff. So I'm happy for you, man.
Extremely happy.
I'm really happy.
That's the one thing I'm like, I can't really picture the one thing that I'm going to be like, oh, I can't wait to do this or see this. It's just like, it's really not about the correcting of the eyes. It's more so like mentally because I'm drained every day and there's nothing that can help it because it's just my eyes fighting each other.
Right.
So like, I'm just excited to see what it's like to not have that. Cause I feel like every day that I deal with this, and I feel like it's whenever it started, cause we don't know exactly when it started. This could have been back in high school. This could have been in the last, cause I've dealt with probably 3 different concussions in the last couple of years just from being tall and clumsy and hitting my head on shit. So I'm just excited to see who this person's going to be if they eliminate all these different things that are just because I have this sort of, thing wrong with my eyes. So
Man.
I'm excited.
You come back and Bob's got a 6-pack. You didn't even realize his whole life.
Seriously.
Like, damn,
that's another thing weird too, is because I've never really sat down with people like this and talk without Bob.
I was thinking
We
that.
do
Is this
everything
legal?
together as a team.
That's crazy.
Everything.
Are we allowed
Like-
to do this? This is-
Well,
I
I
offered,
like-
just for the record, I was like, I know it's a crazy in
Oh,
between the
shit,
holidays, but like if Bob, I've never met Bob. So like I've talked to you, we've done the David Allen fashion show together. And
Yeah.
I actually used to message the show. I used to DM you when I lived in Charlotte and I used to listen to the, listen to the show, and we've interacted a few times on social. You've shared like stuff and said like Insplosion on a pair of like cleats or something I made.
Yeah.
But like, so I offered the invite, and obviously it's a welcome invite for Bob anytime he wants to come in here too.
You
but
blew
like,
up the Backstreet Boys.
but like, no, dude. Like, I think that's part of the persona that I want to get to is that like you and Bob have an amazing story together, and that's the story Pittsburgh knows. But like, they need to know each of your individual stories. Like, you have lives, you have families, you have,
you
you
have the
know,
current situation you're going through.
right.
Yeah.
That's something you don't talk about if Bob is here because
I haven't even
you
talked
guys,
about that on our show yet because we've been on like holiday break, and like
Yeah.
this was part of my holiday break going to Philadelphia for like 3 or 4 days. And that's where my wife's from. She's from like South Jersey. So we were visiting family there. It just so happens that the family we know and her best friend growing up has the connection and works in this high place in, with this amazing woman, Valerie Biscardi, who's just like, there's
Shout
this
out.
different neurovisual stuff. And
Give her
Yeah.
a personal shout out again, man.
I know,
Give her
right?
a personal shout out.
Hey
She
man,
deserves
she
it.
fixes my eyes, but yeah, it's different because I do everything with Bob. Like I grew up with him. I've known him since Little League baseball, and when you reached out to me, I'm like, oh, this will probably fall good in that weird week of Christmas, New Year's, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Bob's got his own thing going on.
Yeah.
I know he doesn't want to work. I'm just gonna go.
Yeah,
do
and
this and
I appreciate that, man. Like I know that there'll be a come a time where Bob sits here too, and maybe you two both sit here, and then maybe like I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here, but like
Trey's like, wait a minute, I gotta talk to Bob next, and then they're gonna do a duo show next.
yeah.
Listen, I'm used to it by this
The
point. I
whole
just
month
jump
of
in-
January
I
is the
jump in
Mikey and Bob
passenger car.
takeover.
The passenger seat's where I sit, man. I just be like, we're going where?
Yeah.
And he's heading how fast? We're going, okay. You know what? I'm just going to shut up and turn the music up.
But-
You feel me?
Having Trey on the show has like changed the dynamic of it because up until like I don't know if you have seen, but before like it was just me and a guest, and then Trey came along about a little less than a year ago,
Yeah.
like February. We did an art show together, and that was kind of the big introduction that I had to the Pavement Group and to
Yeah.
Brian, and they put on that event and paid for the venue and all this stuff, and so like up until that point, my show was mainly focused around athletes and art. And then then I realized I was like, I'm relying on I played sports, but like I'm relying on my guest to be the athlete side of the
Yeah.
show but then when I have an artist on, I'm like, bro, there is nothing to do with sports right now. We're just talking about paint and like,
Anything.
Yeah.
whatever. So having him come on, it's opened up the conversation to be more than just art and sports. It's actually about the person and things. So I'm just giving you a little love right now,
Appreciate that, brother.
Trey
Thank
Tip,
you. Thank you.
my guy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man. It feels
Yeah,
nice to be
guest
wanted.
on your own show.
You know what
Well,
I mean?
no, you guys got a really good dynamic, and you can tell from when it's just you interviewing somebody as to when Trey's here.
Yeah.
It's a totally different dynamic. You got, there's different perspectives, there's different questions that you might not be thinking of and everything like
Yeah.
that. So,
Well,
yeah.
appreciate it,
I
man. I wasn't
appreciate
fishing
you,
for
brother.
compliments on my own show today, but I'll take them. But dude, I appreciate you coming in. I've been studying you a little bit, just as far as like how
I heard
you.
that Yinzer accent come out right there.
He already called me out. He's like, bro,
For a
you're as
little bit.
you're as Yinzer as they come.
Hey,
I took it as a compliment.
that's a big compliment.
But yeah, dude, like I've been studying how. I mean, you captivated a city, and you're not even like from the city. So you have fully embraced Pittsburgh culture to the point where I feel like if I tell most people you're not from Pittsburgh, it's gonna ruin their day.
Yeah, you just ruined mine. I didn't study enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because my whole life I grew up listening to you and your man. So I'm sitting here like,
Appreciate that.
my dog is straight from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You ain't from Pitt. What? I feel like I got cheated on real quick.
How do you do that? How do you embrace a city the way you guys have?
We just knew that we couldn't fail. And I think we sort of had, and it's such a dumb reference to use because we're originally from like the Detroit area, but everybody I think, and you both have probably had it too, whether it's your art or playing sports or something, you just have that Eminem lose yourself moment where things click and you realize what it takes to get to where you want to be.
Ooh.
And you know it's not going to be easy. You don't even know if there's a path to get you there.
Right.
Because how many people try their whole life to be something that they are passionate about and just don't make it? Like for everybody that makes it, there's so many stories of people that don't make it and are working at jobs that they don't like and they just get lost in the shuffle and they don't know how to get out and everything. So we were young enough to where we just knew what like typical like morning radio kind of was, and it was just like sort of hokey and 90s-ish and bad jokes and things like that.
Yeah.
And we're just like, man, are we gonna just do what everybody else is doing and, you know, pay a service to have like fake callers call in the show and like read a script and stuff? And I'm just
Yeah.
like, we're just gonna get fired in like a year. Like that, seriously.
Truth,
like
yeah,
I was just
sure.
like, if you're working at a job where you're not passionate, you're just waiting to go to your next place or you're waiting for them to fire you.
Yeah.
So we said, if we're going to go down, let's at least go down on our own terms.
Right.
That's how we like started with that mentality though. Cause we already knew like I was 21 and Bob was 22 when we started at Kiss in Pittsburgh, where we
Yeah.
still are. And we were so young that it's like, there's people twice our age that work in radio their whole lives and don't get like their own morning show in a top 30 market like Pittsburgh. And we were like in our young 20s.
Right.
So I was just like, first of all, they don't trust us off the rip. They are just thinking like, let's just turn this on,
Yeah.
see if they get magic in a bottle, or if it fails,
Yeah.
then it fails. We just put these kids on. And
Who
that
stuck
was,
their neck out for you in that season that said, all right, we're going to
Oh,
give you the green
man.
light?
Oh man, that's a great question.
Because you
There-
did something that wasn't the norm. So it's like someone's ass was on the line that if
Especially 21 and 22. I'm sitting here thinking like, who's handing them the keys right now?
you know?
So they really didn't have a choice because when we came to Pittsburgh, there was another guy on the show with us that we started with in Detroit. We worked with in Philadelphia, and his name was Tic Tac. And he was big as a night show in Detroit. So we just sort of became his interns in Detroit. And were just like, we could do this. We could just be on the radio. Like this is so much fun. And we got fired from that job. That's a whole other story. And then we went to Philadelphia and just for like a year and a half just went bonkers. Like I was 20 years old. We were doing like club nights 6 nights a week. They were paying us in cash. It was wild. It was
you know-
like a college experience.
What year is this?
That's what I'm saying.
This is
Because when did you come to
early
Pittsburgh?
2000s.
Oh,
Yeah,
so this is
okay.
bare minimum cell phones. So like, this is nice right now. He's living in a different era. I don't think people understand that era.
Yo.
Now. Like, a lot of kids don't get it nowadays. Like, if you get with any mug, that was in the 2000 era and having a good time, they'll tell you the first things first. We had no phones. That is crazy. Because you were acting up and nobody knew what you was doing. Oh yeah, they were acting up.
Yeah.
They was acting up.
acting.
I
up for
mean,
sure.
everybody goes through those learning phases, right? And it's like, it's funny because now I look back on like our radio show way back then. I'm just like, I don't even know if they exist, like copies of them. If they do, they're probably on like cassette tapes. And I'm like,
Man.
that's probably the gift and the curse right there. You know?
Yeah.
It's just like, if you grew up in that era, like you had cell phones, but they were more so to actually call and not
Yeah.
do our whole lives
you-
on them like we did now.
Were you doing radio, to connect this back to the sports crowd here? When you were doing radio in Philly, was that when they went like 4 straight times to the NFC title game and lost, or was it before or after that? Because then that was when they had like T.O. and they lost to the Patriots.
T.O. and McNabb.
Yeah.
that was during the time we were there because
Right.
Bob snuck into the opening of Lincoln Financial Field.
Hold on, let's talk about it. Let's talk
Seriously,
about it.
I do not know how this dude did it, but he just knew he needed to get in there. He did not have a ticket or anything, and we just sent him because they must have opened Lincoln Financial Field. They must have had a night game, right? That makes sense. I don't know. But
Sure.
Bob was down there, and I remember we just sent him down, and we're just like, see if you can get in the link for the no tickets or anything. And Bob used to be able to just do shit like this. I don't know. Just nobody wants to stop the big guy. You know, he just looks like he knows where he's going. So he's sending us updates. We're talking to him on the phone, and he gets in to Lincoln Financial Field, sends us a picture, because this is when like early, you know, like cell phones could actually send the worst. It looks like
The
you
first
take a
picture
yeah.
for real.
It looks like you took a picture like with a microwave. It's just like, what is it?
Yeah.
But sure enough, it's Sylvester Stallone with his arms raised because he was the one before the game that like opened the link. So Bob with no tickets like got into the link and was there for like the opening night for the Eagles at that field. But yeah, it was the time when, man, he did another. We were.
You might as well tell it. Don't
This
hold
is
back now. You might as
Are
well
you sure
tell
you
it.
want to call him? Let's just get him in here, man.
I just, there were probably some laws that were broken. I don't know what it specifically they would be, but this was when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles were playing the NFC Championship game.
Okay.
So the guy that we were working with in Philadelphia, the guy Tic Tac, who we met in
Yep.
Michigan, right, that we're still with here. One of his former interns, somebody he used to work with, that went by the name of Big Mama.
Wait, come again?
Big Mama.
Big Mama. Yep. He worked down in Tampa, Florida. Yep. All real. Yep.
Wait. I'm thinking like Martin Lawrence. Like, what is we?
No.
Like
no.
Big Mama was his nickname.
Big Mama. Yeah. Big Mama was Nick. I don't even know what the guy's real name was. That's another weird thing about radios. Yo, everybody's got fake names.
Hold on. This is why I knew I
Can
would
we-
survive, bro.
Let's not get too sidetracked, but we need to figure out, maybe not right now. But
Who's
my
Big
80
Mama?
We need to figure out our radio names.
Bro, nah. Who's Big Mama? That's what I want to know.
Seriously, because my real name's Mike or Michael, and Bob's real name is Bob. So like,
Yeah, that's part of your.
That's another part of it all.
Yeah.
Where I think Pittsburgh connected with us so much is because we didn't come in and just like, I'm DJ Tallman with my guy.
Right.
We're just like Mikey and Bob. It's just who we are. But
Yeah.
like,
That's how.
Respect that.
it's just worked. And I remember when we first started doing the show in Pittsburgh, I don't remember what the ratings were. We don't really, radio's so different that we don't even like care what our ratings are because it's the way the whole system is. It's a whole different podcast. But when we first came in, the ratings weren't good at all. There weren't a lot of people listening to 96.1 Kiss in the morning. So we said, we want to know about everybody who's listening to the show right now, this new radio show. So we started giving people listener numbers.
No way.
We legit would have people call and just talk to people. Just like you guys started by just asking me how you doing. It's like that simple.
You build a community.
Like you got a story out of me that I haven't even shared with. I haven't even posted like a picture of me in my weird ass glasses or anything yet. Like, because you just asked me how my day was going.
Yeah.
And it's going good now because this is fun as hell. But like, yeah, it's so like, when we first started in Pittsburgh, we just started numbering people. We said, okay, Jenny, you're working at Giant Eagle. You work in the parking lot. You're Jenny, the Giant Eagle parking lot lady. You're listener number 337.
Okay.
No lie, I wish I would have brought him with me. I still have 3 spiral notebooks full of people's names that just started listening to our show in Pittsburgh. And I still have those.
I got to see it, bro.
I know. I gotta, like, they're real. They exist in my house. And like, this is, but I could have probably done it digitally, but like, there was something about writing it down in a notebook.
Your podcast someday needs to be you interviewing all these people, like individual solo interviews with them, where you go 1 through however many you have and just like highlight them. But that's amazing, dude.
That is incredible. I do have a question though, because you're speaking about something that's actually like very important to me, and it's called the power of positivity, right? And you and your man are the ones who kind of really started it in the city, because you started to listen to people who are unheard, right? Everybody has a story, but who's listening and who's telling it? So with that said, man, even to what you were just saying with my man Vinny asking you how your day was going, originally, essentially, you were having a decently bad day, a bad couple of days, right? But even that conversation, I could tell that it lightened you up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about how important it is to be somebody's positivity in your life, because what you and your friend have done is the fact that you guys took the time to notice each listener. So therefore, it grew from a couple hundred to a couple thousand, so on and so forth. That's the power of positivity, my man. So let's talk about that a little bit. How important is it to do what you're doing and adding the value of positivity into what you're doing? Because it's important. It seems important to you.
The typical answer is just like, yeah, whenever you can affect positive change in somebody's life, it's good. But it's a burden a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Because like you get people who will tell you their story about how like they are not happy with anything in life, but like they forget about it when they listen to our dumbasses just like cutting up about, you know, some yinzer who gave a funny interview on the news or something like that. Because it works the same for us. And we always tell people that because we get thanked a lot. And I don't know if we deserve like all the praise because it's so easy for us. Like this probably isn't, we could all be working like real jobs. We could be going to work every day and like hating what we do and have hard physical labor, hate all this stuff. But you just have to be positive about it, because if you're not positive about it and somebody's already coming from a place of negativity and you have I'm not having a good day, so you need to know about me not having a good day, and you're already not having a good day, so you can tell I'm not having a good day and you like me because I'm this person you listen to all the time and you connect with me, and like, you know, I've sent you a message on Instagram or something, or responded to you or something. So I can't come with negativity or just like, I mean, I'm going to be honest, if I'm in a bad mood or something like that, but you can't bring people down. Like, not that you used to be able to do it, but like more so nowadays, you cannot escape negativity. You can't watch the news. You can't open your phone without negativity. And there is not a lot of places where positivity comes from anymore. And I think we probably shifted maybe 4 or 5 years ago where we realized that we don't just entertain people and like read the dumb Facebook comments after the Steelers lose or something and people are like losing their mind. We could be the only positive in somebody's life for that day.
Yep.
And that is fucking, it's crazy.
It's heavy.
But it's awesome. But it's also like a burden, because I always feel like I have to be there for people.
Yeah.
Right now, like me and Bob are on our holiday break, I'm like itching because people are already just like, when do you guys come back?
Right.
And it's just like, it's like 2 weeks with our family where, and I get that I'm here doing this, and like I knew Bob wasn't going to come because he's just on family time right now.
Respect that, dude.
But it's empowering, and it becomes a burden sometimes because you realize that no matter what you're going through, you can't always be negative, because that people are going to get that from everywhere else, even if they don't want it. So you have to be that little, and you don't have to give them, you don't have to give them speeches that change the world. You just got to say like something like to make them smile or make them laugh or just, like I realize that just being myself and just playing off of Bob and just like, it's not always that serious. Like we can power rank our top 5 favorite muffin. And for somebody, that's going to be the dumb thing that's like, they might not laugh out loud like, oh my God, it's Kevin Hart. This is it. This is stand-up. But it's just like, was it a little distraction? Was it, was it?
Make you feel better?
I got like this visual as you're describing this, and I feel like I've felt this, but I never like kind of saw it in this realm. But I don't know if you ever seen the movie. It's a new Disney movie, Pixar movie. It's called Soul.
Oh,
Soul.
great
Yeah,
movie.
Soul rules,
Great.
Is it Soul or
Soul? It's
Yeah.
Soul.
Bro, that's like not to be like too weird about it, but that's you and Bob, where like these people walking around Pittsburgh. I was one of them at one point. Like they have very taxing jobs.
Yeah.
They have like, responsibilities. It's not easy to be a Pittsburgher. Like that's where the grit and the pride from this city comes from, is the fact that like
It's not easy.
if you live here, you've went through some shit, or you're still going through some shit.
Talk about it.
And so the fact that like, you're I don't know if you remember the realm where they go into in the movie where they're like taking all that weight off the people and allowing them to reset themselves and be like, oh, this is what I'm passionate about. Like the power of positivity allows them to break free from that negative cycle, that negative cycle. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about muffins or some like Steeler Facebook comment.
Yeah.
It's different. And that trips their system and it allows them to like breathe and like, look at things from a different light. So like, you say, oh, I don't know if we know if we deserve the praise. I don't know if we know. It's not about praise. It's just like, man, like you need to know that like what you do does make a huge difference for a lot of people, including myself, man. Like when I was distant from Pittsburgh and my whole family was here and I was in Charlotte and I listened to you guys' show, and one time actually one of the first times we ever talked, there was an interview. I can't remember what the interview was. I just remember this Pittsburgher like absolutely said the most Yinzer thing I've ever heard of. And I sent it to you. And like then the next week on the pod or the next day on the pod, you guys shouted me out like and said like, thanks for Vinny for sending this in.
Yeah.
And you showed the clip and played it. And I was just like, yo, like they really saw me. Like it was like a really
That's
cool
huge,
it was
bro.
before I was doing anything media wise. Like I was literally unemployed, living in Charlotte because we just moved there because my wife got a job as a teacher. No idea what my role was going to be in Charlotte, but I was willing to go down there. We were going to start kind of fresh, and to stay connected to the city just through like a funny show that you guys do in the morning, it did things for me to feel seen and heard. So all that to say, man, just giving you your flowers. We always do this on the show. We kind of like let people know because, bro, like, I don't know, people take for granted, I think, what you guys have brought, not just to the city, but to the community that you've built now on the iHeart app. And, your podcast doesn't just reach Pittsburgh. And that's like another thing, like I said, I've been studying you, is not to be weird again, but like, dude, like, I think when people ask, I'm sure this is the question you get a lot. Because I get a question a lot as an artist. It's, oh,
Well, it's going to be third because it's how tall are you and do you play basketball?
Right,
That's
yeah.
1 and 2. So this is going to be the third
Yes.
question I get asked the most.
And it's got to be, is radio dying? I'm sure you get it a lot. The reason that I get a question about being an artist, like, oh, how do you paint that? I can't paint stick figures. It's like, it's the thing that people kind of go to when they don't know what to really say. And I have studied you. You guys you're not reliant on radio. You guys have already transitioned, and people don't realize it.
Yeah.
You're not a radio host. You are a podcaster. You are a YouTuber. You are an influencer. You have a platform that nobody has, being on the radio. So it's not that your main platform is dying. It's the fact that you've done all the things everyone's trying to do, and you got the stamp of validation that you're also on the radio. So if that goes away tomorrow, you already have this infrastructure built and the community of people you've actually cared about. Bro, you can't lose.
Shh. Don't say that stuff too loud. No, yeah, radio is, it's weird because I think people have a view of radio that it's just people who they either know somebody or they've always wanted to be in radio. You think of like a little kid that's sitting by like the radio and, I always want to sound like this. Not me and Bob at all. I sound like Ray Romano had sex with a Muppet. Like, I have a horrible radio voice. Like, really. I don't even know if that would break laws or anything, but like if Ray Romano and Kermit the Frog, somehow, I don't know how it would work, but somehow,
Kermit's definitely.
it would sound like me.
He's been around for longer than 18 years, so it's not illegal.
But
Hold on.
we need to pause on that.
Hey, no. Listen, tell Swing, when we're done with this, bro, we need to find an audio where both of those voices come together because I need to see this. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, that was amazing.
You take Ray Romano and Kermit the Frog, and I'm somewhere in there. But
Bring the camera back on me. All right, go ahead.
But me and Bob never were passionate about radio. It's like we don't even have a good story. We fell into it because it seemed like an easy job to do, and like it's been like our lifelong work.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure because you've heard us talk about it before, but I've known him since we played Little League baseball together. We had a job before radio. We worked in the back stock room of a shoe store together. Not even a cool shoe store either. There's no Nikes there at all. This is like Rockports, Florsheim. Like your grandpa's going in there to get his funeral shoes because his military buddy just died and he hasn't bought a pair of dress shoes in 40 years. But they wouldn't even let us on the sales floor to sell the shoes. I don't know why. Probably because we were assholes then. We were teenagers but we worked in the stock room together.
You guys were super bad before the movie.
That's where the show started, was like the stock room of that shoe store, because we would just have the radio on. We would blast the radio like late 90s, early 2000s, like everything from DMX to Britney Spears, NSYNC, Korn, Limp Bizkit, TRL, Total Request Live. We would just laugh and just sing and dance and just like, now we weren't making any money or anything. We're two shoe stockroom guys at this decrepit like shoe store or anything, but that's really, where it all sort of started.
That's a blockbuster.
But for a lot of people, I think they think that like, oh, these guys this is what they were born to do. Nope. Bob went to college for one semester, dropped out, worked at a check printing place, and was making like this. So he dropped out of college after one semester. He knew it wasn't for him. Dropped out after one semester, worked at a check printing place. Like, he's 20 years old, full time with benefits. He always says, I saw one check where I couldn't believe how many zeros were on it. Like, you usually don't get to see. I saw one check that I was like, how does somebody get this much money from NBC every month? Time hasn't really held up because Bill Cosby made a lot of money, apparently, and Bob got it. And the one famous check he saw was Bill Cosby's check from NBC.
Yo, that's crazy.
But Bob printed it, but we don't have a story about how like there's no picture of Lil Mikey and Bob sitting in front of a radio going, "Hey, this is the." No, we just it seemed easy, and we just fell into it. But I want to thank you because nobody realizes that, because you're right. Everybody just goes, well, is radio dying? Who's listening to the radio anymore? It's like, well, you might not be listening to it in your car like you usually do, but like you can listen to our podcast. Mm-hmm. That's not going to have any songs on it. It's not going to have, it's not going to have as many commercials. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, so wait, am I killing radio? Are we killing radio ourselves? Or like, is it already too far gone? But like, what I don't think people realize, and I'm glad you brought it up because a lot of people don't see that, is just like me and Bob have already we're already like, yeah, we're still on the radio, but like everything you said, like influencers, like at any given time, there's 12 to 15 different, mostly Pittsburgh companies that like use us as influencers.
Yep.
And a lot of those stay extremely loyal, you know, like Gecko and Edgar Snyder and Associates and Armina Stone and all these different companies that we do these dumb little earworm jingles for people. Is like people, like you said, might just think of us as radio guys, but it's like, oh no, we get we know what's going on with social media.
Yeah, I'm not
with,
trying
like,
to show
YouTube,
too many
all
of your
that
cards
stuff.
right
It's
now,
just
bro.
like you can't just be in one box anymore. You can't just be, you know, even if you're just a YouTuber, you're sharing clips of your show to bring them back to your YouTube page. So, you know, if Instagram isn't, or if Twitter isn't doing or X or whatever, isn't doing the numbers that it used to be, and that's where I had most of my followers.
Really?
Now I just don't even really care because I'm just like, I don't really like what's going on with that platform. So, oh yeah, I got some followers on Instagram too. And like, let me put more in that basket now. Let me, you know, put more of my time and effort in there because I can actually, you know, I actually like where that's going and people are seeing my stuff and everything like that. So it's all about, things move so fast now.
Yeah.
That like me trying to even think of like, is radio dead? I would say like, not really, because like it all depends on how you've used radio.
Right.
And me and Bob have connected with a city like most people in radio don't connect with the city they're in.
Yep.
And a lot of radio is just consolidated and you have people from other cities doing other shows in other places and stuff like that. So now I think it just shifts, you know, and we're doing more than we ever have right now. Like we're busier than ever. And like, that's how I know what we do isn't dying. Connecting with the city, connecting with people, making people feel positive.
Yep.
No matter what form that is, you can't sign that to a contract. You can't buy that. You can't get some high school kid that's just going to have instantly that built up 20 years like we have with this city.
Yep.
You can't buy that anymore. And it's so cool that Pittsburgh has been this place for us for like 2 decades. It's a responsibility, a burden, and a joy that we don't take lightly. It is.
Man.
It's amazing to hear you say that, bro.
They basically almost coined the token adapt or die. You know what I'm saying? You guys adapted before even the thought of dying even came to about. So, like, I commend you guys for not only preparing, but going out there and doing the dang thing. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people have died off. You know what I mean? There's a lot of radio shows who used to be on in Pittsburgh that are no longer existent and or no longer wanted, right? And these guys have found a way again and again to adapt and be able to reach even a bigger audience, right? Because nowadays, like you said, man, it's about engagement. How engaged can you be to the city? And I feel like right now we're losing a lot of the city to other businesses, to other states, just because there's a lot of business out there, right? So what brings interest back to the city of Pittsburgh? And it has to be us, right? Brian says the most, what's going to change the world is usually entrepreneurs, but what's going to actually bring the people to the forefront is the influence. You know what I'm saying? So how we do it together, I mean, it's definitely on the power of positivity. And you and your man have not only shown that, but you guys have become that, right? So what do you think the next step is as a collective? Because we're 2 young podcasters, as you see, man, and we're trying to come up through the ranks. What do you think that we need to do as a collective to help bring back the city some positive energy?
It's really about being open to connecting with other people and collaborating with other people. I know you guys already do a tremendous job of it, but like, I wish I could have told my younger self back then that like, you need to know people. Not like know people, but you need to know people in a way where you can help them get to their goals and they can help you get to your goals.
Right.
And it's not, Pittsburgh's so weird because you don't feel like you're like using each other, but we're all coming from sort of the same place here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
We all know sort of the same things. We know the city shuts down when it's Steelers Sunday and things like that. We know people are going to be mad the next day whether they win or lose. We all have these certain shared experiences, but what I love especially about what you guys are doing here is there's so many different pods of like, well, this person's good at this, and this person's good at this, and this person's good at that. But what if these three came together and did an event together that helps all three of them, you know?
The Avengers.
And stuff like that, though, you have to learn that, because when me and Bob first started doing the show, I sort of wanted to be on our own island. If we were going to be the weird misfit toys, I sort of wanted to be away from everybody else. But then I realized that, like, well, why aren't we getting, like, why don't I have like a Get-Go sponsorship or something? If all these people are messing with us, then, you know, why am I not taking a meeting with this person and trying to connect with them about how we can help them and they can help us, you know, like, and I think we're at a place now where we realize that we can help local businesses and stuff, whether it's a typical, like, old school, you go through the radio sales department and we cut a commercial for you, or whether it's like, you know, Chef Tom from Get-Go's coming up to the studio with their new items every month, and next thing you know, you've been watching me and Bobby Get-Go food and just being ourselves for like 5 minutes until you're just like, what am I watching here?
I saw him pouring the gravy on the what was it, the meat tree or something like that. It was awesome, dude.
Yeah, Chef Tom from Get-Go, we took a bunch of listeners to the test kitchen that they have, and Bob one day on the show was talking about having a tree of lunch meats. So Chef Tom rolls out this like mini Christmas tree with like salami and ham and turkey on it, and just gives Bob a boat of gravy, and it's just like, pour it on the tree. And he did. It made no sense at all, but I'm like, well, that's the clip.
I ain't gonna lie,
great
commercials
content,
kill me
dude.
nowadays. Like, you know how certain cologne commercials have nothing to do with the cologne, but they just show this man jumping in the ocean? Like, what is we
We
Yo.
need to do that with Bob. Yeah.
Where is Johnny Depp at? Like, Johnny Depp, all the shit Johnny Depp has went through, as soon as his trial was over, whatever cologne he's with, they were just like, is the coast clear?
Like,
There's some people who aren't back in on him, but there's some people who are. I mean, he won, but kind of. I'll put him back in the desert with the coyotes.
yeah,
Like, it's so weird,
what
right?
are we doing, bro? Like, some of these commercials lost me, bro. I can't lie. Like,
Yeah.
and you just look at it and you're like, what does that have to do with accounting?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever it may be, like, you see some wild commercials out there. So what's another funny commercial you guys have done that literally has nothing to do with the product?
Oh, man. Oh. I mean, like, I think one of the things that we came up with that, I'm trying to think. I might need a minute here. I'm trying to like go down the list of all the different companies and what would be the best example of something that we just.
Or better yet, maybe there's an idea that you haven't had a chance to bring to fruition yet.
That's the one I'm looking for.
All right, hold on. So we have a deal, and we've had a great partnership with Armina Stone. That's like a countertop company here in Pittsburgh, and now they're expanding down in Miami and everything. And one of our sales guys, Doug, was just straight up cold calling businesses. Like, he was just, I don't know if he was trying to meet some quota, but he was just out there grinding. He's like, will you guys go with me to a meeting at this Armina Stone countertop place? And we're like, is the deal close to being done? Can we take it over the goal line? Because if we go out to every sales call, we literally have no time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to gauge, like, is this close? Do we need to just go?
Right.
So we show up to Armina Stone, their big warehouse and everything like that. And the guy who owns it, this guy, Emery, he's not even there. And we're like, what is this? Oh, no, he'll be here. Like, soon as he shows up, we've already been waiting for like 15 minutes. He's just like, are you guys hungry? Let's go to lunch. And we're like, I mean, not. He's like, no, let's go to lunch. You, points to me, you ride with me. So now I'm in the front seat of this guy's car, who I just met. He's taking us to lunch, I think, because I'm not even in the car with Doug and Bob. They're in a completely different car. So I'm in the car with Emery, and we're going to lunch. And I don't even know how much he knows about our show or who I am or anything like that. So we go to lunch, we get done with lunch and everything, and he's just like, we're going to do 15-second commercials. And I'm like, man, there's not a lot you can say in 15 seconds, but it's got to be something that can hook some. Ooh, we were like, granite, countertops, marble, fancy. There's this old SNL skit that was about marble columns. Like people that have marble columns in their homes, just like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, like Tony Soprano, like sort of Italian, like 80s, 90s decor type of thing. Yeah. And it was like marble columns. You want a marble column. And we were sort of in that vibe of, ooh, fancy countertops. Ooh, Armina stone. And as soon as we said, ooh, Armina, we started going, ooh, Armina stone. And it just sort of vibed to, ooh, Armina stone. Then we come back to the place after lunch, right? Because this is before we even came up with that. That was later and everything, and we've been running that for like, I don't even know, like a decade now, it seems like. Yeah. But we get back to the place, and we're thinking like, all right, I think we got the deal closed and everything here. They're going to, be part of the show and be a... But I see that he's got a bathtub that's like in the, they have like a mock bathtub and bathroom. So it's got like a stand-up shower. It's just in the showroom and everything. So I go to Emery, who we just went to lunch with, who I just met. And, it's not all serious about business. So I'm just like, it would look good in that bathtub. my guy over here. We need to get Bob shirtless in that bathtub. Put some rose petals in the bathtub. Oh, how sexy would he look in there? He looks at me dead in the eyes. He's like, are you serious? We will get that done. Can we put that on a billboard? And I was like, yeah, hell yeah, you can. So like, that was legit the first time we met him. And probably, I don't even know how long it was. The turnover was maybe a month or two. We were on Armina Stone billboards with Bob in a bathtub filled with rose petals and me just like behind the bathtub like this.
Dude.
They were just on billboards all in the city. And it came together that fast.
That'd be so fun, bro. I feel like they're a good time just to hang out with.
Dude, I love that story because, like you started telling the story and Armina Stone is so ingrained in my head that as you're telling the story, like, I'm not thinking that you guys come up with that jingle. I'm thinking that you just are like reading a script, and then like to hear the layers of like the relationship, the trip out there, and like you guys just them trusting you to. They didn't put you in a box.
Yeah.
And look at what that did, dude. Like
every time there's an Armina Stone vehicle that's stopped at a place like a Get-Go to get gas or something, all the time their drivers will just hear it nonstop. Red lights.
You did a great job.
They have to be so sick of it by now. But also it's like, that's how we connected this company. Like, it has nothing to do with the countertops at all.
Yeah.
Like, countertops aren't something you buy like groceries.
Mm-hmm.
It's a one-time purchase, maybe.
Right.
If you're doing remodeling or something.
You guys are like real life doing the like Century 3 Chevrolet. And you guys actually taught me on your show that that was a remade jingle, right?
Yeah, that show was the gift and the curse too, because I feel like that show was a lot of people learning that me and Bob aren't originally from Pittsburgh. Because so the Century 3 famous jingle, Lebanon Church Road, Pittsburgh, minutes from the mall.
Yeah.
I do not know how we got down this YouTube wormhole, but we found that jingle is used and was used in the 80s and 90s all throughout the country.
Ruined
It's not original at all. We found ones in Dallas, and it's not the same.
It's like Fort Road Drive in Texas or something like that.
It's different cities. It's different streets. It's next to this.
I found out a lot of information from you today, man. You're not from Pittsburgh. the jingle's stolen. Like, I thought we had.
You gotta start listening to the show, bro.
Listen,
man. I listened. I did. I promise.
Me and Bob at this point have lived in Pennsylvania longer now than we lived in Michigan. Like, we left Michigan when I was 19 and he was 20. So like all our adult life, for a year and a half, it was in Philly. But basically, we've gotten married in Pittsburgh. We had kids in Pittsburgh. Like, our daughters are about to, almost go to college.
Crazy.
So I know it shocks people. And we never used to hide it. I would never lie to somebody if they said, where are you from? I would just be like, we're from this city called Allen Park, Michigan. It's like 10, 15 minutes outside of Detroit. I wouldn't lie to anybody, but I think we would hide it because I think when you first come to a city and people think you're not from there, they instantly will say they don't know. And we didn't come out saying we know you, Pittsburgh, because I didn't. Yeah. I didn't know that you don't call it Giant Eagle. You call it Giant Eagle, you know? Like there are certain things that we didn't need to tell people. We had to learn on our own. And it didn't take long because we just, like I said, it was that mentality of like, if we're going to lose, I'm going to, you know, it's, and I don't want to bring it all back to sports or anything like that, but a lot of times with sports, you might have an injury or something like that, which is why you didn't make it. But a lot of people, they have their destiny in their hands, whether it was they didn't work out enough, they didn't listen to their coaches enough, maybe they had a bad coach or something like that. Like so many things have to align for you to be successful. A lot of it's luck, but a lot of it is like making your own luck. You know what I'm saying? And putting yourself in the position where it's going to look like luck because nobody sees, you know, the hard work. Like it sounded like me and Bob farted out the Armina Stone jingle in 5 seconds. But now you know like the backstory to it of something that went from a kind of like weird meeting that we usually don't have of just like a guy throwing me in his car saying we're going to lunch and like, okay, yeah, we are, to us being on billboards to now their drivers being, I wouldn't say harassed, but supported whenever they see the truck. Like, it goes back to what you said, man. That Armina Stone jingle was written in those hours where you guys were just playing around in the back of that store and just trusting like that, oh, we're going to goof off and like do this and something great's going to come. But like, if you don't have that history together to sit in there, you're going to be like, all right, well, we'll get back to you in 3 to 4 days with like, no, you guys were like, oh no, we're funny. Let's just be us and let's come up with some shit. And like, there's layers that get to that point. And all that I've learned in every person that you can look at and be like, they're an overnight success. Nah. Yeah. Ain't no way. It just doesn't happen. And if it does happen overnight, usually it's not sustainable because it's not real.
Can I go left field real quick?
Sure.
Because you're a sports guy, obviously, and I know you're a sports guy. What do you guys think about this? Now, you could tell me I'm bugging, which I might be, because often I am on this.
Oh, man, somebody's about to get fired right now. Oh, man, somebody's about to get fired right now.
But we know right now, you guys being from Michigan, the Detroit Pistons aren't doing so hot, right? We know they're not doing so hot. But with that said, if Detroit had to move the Pistons somewhere, in my head, why not Pittsburgh? The Pittsburgh Pistons sounds amazing. If you ask me, you need revamped. You know
Pittsburgh
what I mean?
Pistons does sound amazing.
Sounds crazy.
It's kind of like Utah Jazz, where like Pistons and Pittsburgh don't really make sense, but
it does at the same time.
But it flows.
You know?
Yeah.
And in my head, I feel like it would bring the city a whole bunch of new jobs. The Fenway Group already have taken over the Penguins, right?
How do we make this happen?
Listen, I'm putting it out there because I know my man got influence. We're getting influence. We
all
obviously
got the connections. There's a pipeline of success from Detroit to Pittsburgh. I mean, look, you guys are living. You can make a jingle for the new team.
Come on, bro. Or they can be the voices. You
can call the game, bro.
Pittsburgh Pistons.
Pittsburgh Pistons. All right, it's official.
At PPG.
Dude.
It's possible. Hockey arenas do it all the time.
Pittsburgh Pistons at PPG.
Come on, man. Listen, you
almost got a jingle on yourself. It's the Pittsburgh Pistons at PPG.
Come on, there it is. Yes.
Pittsburgh Pistons
And
at
listen,
PPG.
now the
Like
whole city.
the dancers are out at center court.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
The dancers. This is like before the lineup gets announced. This is where the Pistons come out. The
PPG.
It's at PPG. Ooh, and then you turn them up, and then you got to have us on the floor, of course, as a collective.
Bob's in the midst of the dancers, shirtless.
Shirtless.
Full routine planned out.
I think we got to do it.
See, I love where this is going. And I love when I meet basketball fans in Pittsburgh. It's not just because I'm tall, because it's like this secret society.
Secret. Nobody knows about it.
Secret society.
Nobody knows about it. It's coming up.
You can't even talk to people out in public. You got to DM them.
They're like, well, what are we going to do with
you can't even have NBA conversations on the timeline because people will just hit that unfollow.
What are we going to do with the Penguins?
Right. Like, wait a minute. Oh, that is one thing that used to annoy me so much because, like, sports aren't the end all, the be all to life. Even if you're a professional athlete, you still go home and you got to do the dishes or do the
100%.
laundry. Like, it is a cool job, but it is a job, you know? Man, I want an NBA team in Pittsburgh so bad.
That
though.
Pittsburgh Pistons, man, I'm telling you. They
But-
would listen, imagine the jerseys, the concepts. Do you think about it?
Listen, I have made Pittsburgh teams in 2K before. I will spend more time on the arena and the jerseys than I think. I'll get bored
All
with
right.
the game by the time I actually make
All right,
my
hey,
franchise
perfect.
with the jerseys and everything.
We do a uniform segment, okay? And we ask our guests to design a uniform from the ground up, and then we mock it up and show it either on the show or on a social media clip after. So design the Pittsburgh Pistons uniforms. What do they
Let's
look like?
hear it. Let's hear it.
Man, the Pittsburgh. All right, so I have to.
Just tell me, what do the shorts look like? What's the jersey look like? What elements are on it? What colors are they? What's
If
the
you're
font?
a shoe
What's the-
guy, what shoe we're wearing as a collective? 'Cause I
Yeah, are
need
we
to
a
know.
Jordan brand or are we a Nike brand? Like, I know they're both under, but, you know, Charlotte has the Jordan logo. Some teams have the Nike logo. Like, where
Or we the
at?
first Kobe Bryant? You know what I'm saying? I don't.
Right. LeBron, all the Nike brands that could be.
I
on
mean,
the
I
road.
feel like, oh gosh,
Athletic
there's so much.
aesthetic?
There's so much to think about. Like, what's the ad that goes on the Pittsburgh Pistons jersey though?
Turners.
What is it? Turner's?
Or Iron City.
Turners,
Man,
Iron City.
you know UPMC is gonna snatch that up.
They're
though.
gonna
The-
try. to.
I'm
Hold
just
on,
being
let me,
re-
let
I'm
me,
just
let
being
me,
real,
let me,
though.
Let me go wide.
Whoever-
Go wide. One
Or
team,
us.
One team, baby. One team
Yo,
pass.
that actually looks like an NBA jersey logo.
Go wide again.
Seriously,
again, baby.
doesn't it look like
Seriously, one
it's like
team.
made to
the
just
patch
be
on it.
right there, right? Or
Yep.
whatever.
If you didn't know this, we actually have a sponsorship right now with the Pittsburgh Penguins, aka with the Fenway Group. So if anybody's going to bring it to the city of Pittsburgh, why not be one team?
Let's do it, baby.
Am I tripping for saying that?
No, I don't think so. I just don't want to get us in trouble.
I just know one thing: the next NBA franchise is probably going to be Vegas, and it's probably going to be LeBron. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
even Pittsburgh, it's hard
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to go toe to toe with like a
hard.
LeBron Vegas pitch.
Yeah.
And then I think after that, they're probably going to give Vancouver or Seattle a team again. Just that little corner
But
up
if we
there.
show them this podcast clip, I mean, could it sway?
And it's not a far move.
Decisions.
And they could do maybe 3 new teams to the league, maybe 4, because you got to think about it, you got to even the odds.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, they definitely probably want a team in Canada again. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Try to bring more eyes. Again, that's the one thing about the NBA I love is that it's a world sport.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about it in terms of football. Football is trying to get there, right? And make it a world sport, put different things in different countries so people want to play it more.
Yeah.
So we're not a dying sport. But the NBA is just like the MLB, right? There's kids all over the world playing the sport. So who knows? There might even be world teams coming up here soon.
Seriously.
Just to travel, just to get the name and the eyes out there. You know what I'm saying?
You're not getting
So-
out of this question, though. I need these uniforms.
Yeah, don't run
Okay,
from me.
so the uniforms, are we doing home or no? These got to be like, I don't want to deal with the white one.
Maybe do a city edition jersey.
Oh man,
What's the Pittsburgh Pistons city edition NBA
Like,
uniform?
I feel like it's man. I wish I could get in my 2K right now and see what I designed like a couple of years ago. But like, it's got to be black.
Okay.
It's got to be like the yellow trim. Oh man, across the chest, I want a bridge in the background. I
Okay.
think. Sort of like
Like a
it's
subtle-
not the main thing, it's a subtle background bridge.
Sublimated behind the
Okay.
numbers.
And then you either got PGH across right here, but that's sort of like the
Like the
Pirates
Pirates did.
City Connect vibe.
yeah,
Ooh.
You can do 4-1-2.
they'll come after us. We gotta.
Yeah, they'll come after us too. They already came after Pitt. I don't want to
That's
get in
why
trouble.
Right.
We have
so,
PTSD with that.
you
Yeah, I'm
could
not trying to do it.
I mean, a 412 logo, that would be dope as hell.
Yeah.
Little Shop 412 logo right
Yep.
there. That'd be sweet as hell. John Geiger logo, like,
He could do the cleats, first cleat line.
Or the NBA shoe do the coat. I mean,
Well, we got someone that could bring the cleat line together over here running the 1s and 2s right now.
okay, yeah.
So-
So I think
Or why
all
am I saying
black-
cleats? Sorry, yeah, basketball shoes.
I'm about to say, I was
we
gonna
usually
let you
do
be.
football on the show, so as you can tell. Anyway,
just sliding around on the basketball
we're
court.
gonna be the first basketball team.
The
just
Pittsburgh
rocking
Pistons
cleats.
just gets disbanded after one game after they all came out in cleats. They were sweet looking cleats.
Get a
though.
new court every game.
every game, it's over with. It's over with.
I do wish though we had more like almost NBA showcase games here. where they just like tickle a market. Because I feel like LeBron used to come here like when Shaq was with the Cavs. Didn't he like play like a preseason game here or something?
Listen, if we had something along those lines just to get people's eyes, you know what I mean? Because we have a low-key of basketball time. It's very low-key. Like you said, it's like you can't talk about it in public.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
In
saying?
the shadows.
You got to talk about it in the shadow realm. But with that said, I do think there's a market here. I think there's people who want to see an NBA team here. But I also believe that you're right, that Vegas will probably be the next team to get it just because they spent so much money on that new stadium. They're trying to stay one of the most popular cities, the top 5 power cities. So with that said, I can see that as well. Then I can also see Seattle, which makes sense. But what would it take for Pittsburgh to get a team? Because believe it or not, as a city, we're not a big city. But as a market, bro, like everybody knows the city of Pittsburgh. Again, we're not a huge city, right? There's probably other cities around there that match our numbers. But our notoriety in the city of Pittsburgh, you go to San Diego, you go to L.A., they know about Pittsburgh. You go to Colorado, they know about Pittsburgh. You go to Mexico, they know about Pittsburgh. There's a lot of cities out there that's to our size.
I mean,
right?
bro, when I lived in Charlotte, it was like 6 times the amount of population or something like that. But like when you go through the people, you're like, you don't give a shit about the Panthers. You don't really care about the Hornets. You don't really care about you don't even know the Hurricanes exist 2 hours away. So it's like in Pittsburgh, you drop a team in the middle of the city with people that are like steeped in Pittsburgh culture, and you think they're not going to embrace that?
You know what I think of Pittsburgh as? You ever see the movie 300? And they come in like, this is Sparta. Like, you get some people behind somebody. Like, if you give us a LeBron or you give us somebody.
Who would be our leader of our 300 army in Pittsburgh?
I mean, we do need an army. We do need a 300 army of like.
Who's the ultimate Yinzer that's just like, this
TJ
is
Watt.
Pittsburgh.
So like you're gonna have with the Fenway Sports Group, you have like a little bit of a LeBron connection because they own Liverpool too, and LeBron had part ownership of Liverpool, like little things here. So all the Fenway Sports Group people need to do would be like, unless LeBron probably he probably didn't block his number from them. That's the money calling. So maybe they can just be like, hey, listen, Vegas isn't vibing you out and everything. We already got an arena here.
Yeah.
We're not the typical basketball city, but we like going out and doing shit.
Yeah.
Like, I have seen the growth of Riverhounds game going from like where it was 10 years ago. I don't know if you guys been to a Riverhounds game.
It's popping.
They are fun as hell. Even if you don't follow soccer, understand what's going on or the rules and everything, but like at some point we all learn the rules of a sport, whether we play it or and that's a pretty easy sport to play, number 1 sport in the world. And I see just how the Riverhounds grow. And then I look at how, the Pitt women's volleyball team this year.
Killing it.
They've been killing it for years,
I couldn't turn that off. And they've been doing that for like 4 or 5 straight years.
They
like
did it
going
when I was there.
deep in the tournament, right?
Yeah, they've been deep. They've been going, like, when I'm talking about, like, every year, we're almost given, as a city, a national championship due to those women over there.
Seriously.
Like, and they kill it. They've been killing it since I was a freshman in college. And, again, I'm putting age to things, you feel me? I was in college for 7 years. I'm not Van Wilder, but I was very close. You know what I'm saying? So, like.
Trey Wilder?
You know what I'm saying?
You were throwing the parties. You knew everybody on campus.
I was
you were
the
the
old
guy.
head. One of my teammates asked me at 18, they was like, why don't you come out and hang out with us? I said, I'm 25, you're 18. What are we talking about? I got health insurance problems. You're over there talking about, you know what I'm saying, Fortnite and COD. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I do think, though, ultimately, man, the city's a sports city, without question. You bring another sport to the city, how do you think you're going to take it? You're the man with all the jerseys. You're telling me right now, if the city of Pittsburgh gets an NBA team, we're the 300 Spartans. We're going at any city. We'll go at Vegas, hardcore, win and get it done. We'll go at L.A., go beat the Lakers. Just because the city's not going for it. We're not soft in Pittsburgh. That's all I got to say.
We're going to have to stack some draft picks, though.
We got to get Ant-Man.
We got...
Mark my words.
All right, so he's who you're starting the franchise with?
If I could drop this mic, I'd drop it right now. I'll tell you right now. Reason why is because he's gritty. You feel me? Like, in Pittsburgh, we can't take nobody that's soft. I don't want no Karl Anthony Towns. I don't want, if anybody, give my man's from Miami. What's his name?
Bam Adebayo.
Not even him, number 22.
Jimmy Butler.
Oh,
Give
Jimmy
me
Butler.
Jimmy Butler. 'Cause I like that he's gritty. He's going to go
We
in
got
there.
to get Jimmy now, though, because Jimmy in Pittsburgh Pistons years, unless we're making Pittsburgh Pistons now, Jimmy's not going to be that dude we need him
He's
to
not
be
going to
now.
be wearing a wig at the press conference.
You
He's
feel me?
literally
Jimmy
just going to
Butler's
have
going to
gray
be on
hair,
our
like-
Big Three team. He
feel
ain't going to
me?
be on our NBA team. He's going to be on our Big Three team, though.
Okay, so right now, this is what we got to do this. Give me both of you. I need your starting five. If we're building a team right now in the city of Pittsburgh, and be realistic, because our money right now, we got money, but we ain't got a lot. You know
So
what I'm
wait,
saying?
is this like Pittsburgh gets a team right now?
Right now.
And do you have to plan for the future, or is this your
how do
five that you want to win with right now?
That's your decision.
I
You're the
don't know.
GM.
Oh, man.
You're the GM. You're both the GM.
Dude, I don't know. Shit. I don't know anything about basketball to that level to be able to pull it off and win. And, like, I would just name, I don't know. I mean, I would start. Here's my question, follow up to that. Can I just pick anybody?
Pick anybody. Make it easy.
Because
for
that's,
yourself.
like, not realistic.
Because
right?
you know basketball, I could tell, right? You play with 2K, but you know on the other hand. So I want to know, like, if you had to have your dream five for the Pittsburgh Pistons, who is it?
Can we collaborate on this?
You got to have TJ McConnell because we need a representative Yinzer, right?
Okay.
So
Mandatory.
is he probably the closest, like, best NBA player with Pittsburgh ties? By the way, Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban. Now that I know he's still involved
Is
with
he?
Mavericks and anything, but
Straight from Mount Lebo. What are we talking about?
maybe he's the way we get this. Maybe
Didn't you just talk to him like this?
I'm not saying it, but I'm saying it. They
He
brought
coached
they
at Mount
brought-
Lebo this year. He coached football at
and
Mount Lebo.
they had Cuban come in and speak to the team. You know what I mean? We got my man Kevin, I'm saying, just retired from the Steelers, right? The old GM. There's our GM. We got Mark Cuban. There's our owner. What we talking?
Wait a minute. You got Kevin Colbert as the Pittsburgh Pistons GM. Yo. He did all right, though. He did all right.
He did all right.
He can
knows
find talent.
He can find talent. He might have to have somebody else out there to help him and back him. But, like, if we're
Yeah.
talking Pittsburgh guys right now, I like the odds, right? We got Mark Cuban at the owner.
Yeah.
You see?
I think TJ Watt can be a dual sport athlete. Like, I think we
I'm bringing him off the bench to play defense.
Nobody wants to grab a rebound with TJ Watt underneath.
Come
Like,
on.
nobody's going
Elbows
down
out.
there.
I say we just get the top 5 Steelers who can hoop and just start a team and just see what happens. Like,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. If I had to pick somebody to come and play that's in the NFL and play for the Pittsburgh Pistons, it's Dane Jackson. Mark my words. And you're gonna be like, why Dane Jackson? When I tell you he was giving Division I basketball players buckets,
Really?
I'm talking about buckets. Like,
Yeah.
pull up 3, in your mouth, talk crap to you the whole way down the court. I want Dane Jackson. If you hear me and you hear me say this, Dane Jackson's coming off the bench or he's in the top 8 coming off the bench.
right.
Just because he's like that. That's all I'm saying.
I want Luka and Wembanyama
I do want
just
one B.
because they're both like, you
Yeah.
look at Luka, he just looks like a loaf of bread. He looks like he moves like a refrigerator. You're just like, that dude can't do nothing. And he's so slow. Luka plays like middle-aged man YMCA basketball against the best players in the world.
Yeah.
And you don't know what the you're looking at.
Yeah.
You're like, nah, dude. Somebody can throw his shit. And he's just like
yeah.
doing this easy stuff.
Mark
And you're just
Cuban.
like, yo, you're not even doing the same speed as you're like in slow motion. You're like in molasses. But he's the man. And then Wembanyama just, I mean,
He's a freak. He's an alien.
I feel like I just, you know, with those freakishly tall people, I just got something with them. And I'm just like, I need that guy to be around me.
Listen, dude, we get you those glasses. You might be a 5th guy. Or you
Listen,
might be the
man.
guy off the bench.
I'm
Got some
Off
bench,
the
power
bench.
forward. Power forward. Get Bob in there, too. Have him run the 3. He'll set screens all day.
Yo, Bob is setting picks.
Setting screens all day.
It's so funny because, like, do you both remember your greatest sports accomplishment? Where you had that moment where it sticks out as the one thing, like,
Yeah.
this was the play of my life.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was it for you, Trey?
Nah, because they already know about it. So
Okay. Vinny, what was it for you?
last. Let me go last.
I got one that it should be. So my senior year, we were 0-11. We've talked about this on the show. We were 0-11 my junior year. Rough year.
Yeah.
Come back. I mean, you're the laughing stock of the school. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's, oh, you got a football game today. How many points are you going to lose? But it's just
Yeah.
like, so we came out my senior year. We went 2-0. And we were like, let's go. Like, we're shutting people up, you know?
Talk that talk.
First 2 wins. What's really funny is my sophomore end of my sophomore year, the coach got fired because we were bad that year too. We hired this dude. His name was Coach Cathell, Gary Cathell. He was like a Whippeal legend. And they're like, he's got 98 wins. We're going to get him his 100th win. Bro, it took 2 seasons to get him his 100th win. Bro was just trying to get one last season in and get to 100. And he had to coach for 2 more. Because he went 0-11. Bro, they scheduled, now looking back on it, after we were 0-9 and they scheduled like 2 games at the end of the year against other teams with no wins just to give us extra games, and we lost those ones.
No.
We lost
They're
to an
just like
0-10 Moon team.
They're just like sneaking. Just give him 2. Just
like,
give him
bro,
2
give him
check
2,
marks.
bro. Like,
He's got 1 foot out the door. Just give him 2 check
Get
marks.
out of there, bro.
If you lose that amount of games,
Yo.
it should almost count as a win at the end of
Right.
the season. Be like, all right, you lost 10,
So,
but
the
we'll give you
morale
1.5.
was not
Yeah. So, anyways, we come back. We get him his 100th win. And we go into week 3 against West Mifflin, and we're not supposed to beat them. We're down. It's tied up 10-10, I think something like that. And we get the ball back. They just scored to tie it up with like a minute to go. They throw me this like hook and ladder. Everyone, you know what a hook and ladder is.
yeah.
Like, so the play is that I'm supposed to catch it, pitch it to the running back coming on like a, he ran like a flare to the flats. I ran a hitch, catch it, pitch it to him, and we're like, let's just see if it works. Because we don't have any timeouts. We don't have it's tied up. If it doesn't work, we'll just go to overtime. Bro, I go up, I catch this ball, and I feel the defender, like I had no separation from the corner, and because he was playing man, and we weren't playing anything at that time to be able to read and be like, oh, I can just I'm running a hitch.
Right.
What I'm running.
A hitch is a hitch is a hitch.
So I run the hitch, I catch it, he hits me as soon as the ball hits me, and like as I'm getting tackled, I just go like, you ever see like the Randy Moss clip where he like pitches
Throws it
it
back.
over
Throws
his back?
it,
It was
yeah.
kind of like that, only like I just volleyball tipped it to the dude. He catches it and goes all the way up the sideline to set up a game-winning field goal. And like to come back from 0-11 to start 3-0 against your rival and like have that play,
it's jumping.
that was my best moment ever. Was in intramural
Here we
basketball
go.
in college.
Oh, intramural
Here
basketball.
we go.
Where all the good sports
Bro,
accomplishments
This
start.
was at the height of Linsanity.
Oh
Okay?
man, the 2 weeks of electric Linsanity.
Electric. And so we're in this, bro. I signed up for this intramural team, and like our team was full of the football players that didn't play basketball. So like we're just getting waxed out here by like just random dudes that
Yeah.
just played high school basketball.
Have you ever
together.
won? Like, have you just?
So let me just skip over that question. So we go into this game, and I'm getting fired up. So, like we had the equipment manager on our team. Like it was like we were just we made a team as a joke, and we get out there. We're like, we tie it up. We're playing this other awful team, and I hit like a 3 to send it to overtime. Go into overtime. Long story short, there's like 0.3 seconds left. They inbound me the ball, and this is like the middle game, so like the stadium's kind of packed with like other intramural teams waiting to play or whatever. So everyone's watching, and everyone's real into this game because it went into overtime. I catch the ball at midcourt and just put up dude. This thing had to like almost hit the rafters. Like it just was, and when I tell you, I knew it was good from the moment it left my hand.
You felt it,
Bro. I just I stood there, and this shit just, and the whole place just flooded the court, and like, bro, Vin Sanity was trending on like West
And
Lib
he let
Twitter.
it hang.
Vin Sanity,
Man.
people were tweeting Vin Sanity, and I was like, let's
Vinsanity.
go, baby. That was my best sports moment of my whole life.
I can't
Man.
lie. That was a great moment. I don't even know if I could top that, brother. I can't lie to you. That man, he hit it from deep too, left it
Bro,
hanging for
3
everybody to
quarters,
see. He said,
3/4 court shot. Just it was enough time to catch it and shoot. Just wow.
I got 2 too. I got 1 in high school, then I got 1 in college. The 1 in high school was also basketball. We were getting demolished by Jeanette, probably like 35 to like, it was like 35 to 20, or like it was worse than that. It was probably like 40 to like 20 going in at halftime. And my coach was like, well, we got options. What we gonna do about this game? Either we're gonna go out and just take this L, or we're gonna go out here and find a way to win. I don't know, bro. I don't know what sparked in me, bro. No cap. In the third quarter, I dropped like 20 points. No bull. 20 points. We came the whole way back, and now we're neck and neck in the third quarter. Like that third quarter is like it's at that moment in the battle on the grounds, right, where you're like, you don't know if you can get the win, but if you come out with something right now,
Yeah.
You're talking football, right?
basketball.
You're talking basketball.
Yeah,
okay.
we're like, if we come back and we win this right now, bro, like the crowd's going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, we're down 2 points. We're about to end the third quarter. And I'm just like, man, F this. Like, if we're going to do this, we're winning this game. Bro, I kid you not, bro. There's probably like 2 seconds left on the clock. I grab the ball. I shoot the ball from the opposite side of the court's free throw line and hit it. Like, hit it.
3/4 court,
Bro.
just chucked it up.
Chucked it. Cash. Everybody went crazy. Now I'm in it. See, you know that moment when you get locked in? You know what I'm saying? Everybody
Yeah.
feels it. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
You freaking lock the heck in.
Yeah.
That wasn't a game.
It wasn't
was
the game
just
winner.
third- that was
just
the end of the third
the
quarter.
end of the third quarter. Just to
okay.
spark off the fourth
Yeah.
quarter.
Yeah.
So everybody in their heads think we're gonna lose. They're the number 1 seed. We're like number 9 seed.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, let's just hear about those seedings, right?
Yeah.
We're not supposed to win this game by
Yeah.
any stretch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were supposed to get blown out by 40. And by the first half, it looked like that.
Yeah.
Bro, we're neck and neck. Right now it's tied. And we're going at it the whole way to the end of the game. We go to the end of the game, bro. I score a late bucket, bro, and lock up on defense. We win that game. All because of that shot. I had 25 points that game. I went crazy, bro. There was me in the freaking newspaper, me like standing on top of cuz like this. I felt like Rocky in a Rocky movie. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't even me. It was the whole team, man. We did our thing, but that's our one moment. Then the other moment, man, I'll say this, bro. I don't know if people really understand this. When we won the ACC championship, I talk about it a lot. I really do. But when you talk about like the fake slide thing was not planned at all, bro. Like when I tell you everybody on that sideline said to slide and to get down. Because we know we can't lose Kenny. We lose Kenny, bro, the game's over. We're going home, pack your bags.
Yeah.
You might as well. You came here for a vacation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're like, slide. Bro, I went to turn my head like this, and all as I hear is the crowd go, oh! I turn around. Kenny's still running. Bro, I almost slapped my coach in the face, bro. I'm being so dead serious. I'm like, this shit can't be real. Like, he really just did this right now. Of all times to do it, you did this shit right now.
ACC title
Bro,
game.
you ain't practiced this in practice. you ain't do none of it. And he did it, bro. And I'm just remember sitting there thinking to myself, like, oh, shit. Like, he really did that. Oh, he's here to win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then we go into the fourth quarter. We're whooping their ass. And when you see that clock go down, bro, and you have your teammates come up to you like, yeah, we did this for your mom, bro. I'll never forget that moment for as long as I live. I'll die saying that same exact story over and over and over and over and over again, bro. That was a great time for me.
That's the best.
Oh, yeah.
That was your 9th year at Pitt.
That was my 9th year, you know, Van Wilder style,
All comes
baby.
together. You stayed those 9 years just to have
Listen,
that magic moment.
The only thing I didn't get from Pitt, man, I'm telling you right now, I didn't get a doctorate. I tried. I really did, man. I stole every bit of money I could from the University of Pittsburgh, and they just wouldn't give me the doctorate. They were like, listen, bro, like, you done robbed us for this much already. Like, we can't give you the full thing. I just gave you the whole bank code and everything if I get the doctorate. It's all right, though. You know what I mean? I did hear there's some guys out there, though, that got their 8th and 9th year. I was like, bro, if you didn't get a doctorate, shame on you. I got the 7. If you'd have gave me 9, forget about it.
Dr. Trey would be different up in here.
Bro, what? You should have seen me with the Gucci glasses. You'd have given me a doctorate behind my name. It'd have been over with. You couldn't say anything to me. Dr. Tip reporting for duty.
I got a pair of Gucci glasses for Christmas. Wore them on 6 straight podcasts.
6 straight.
We're like, looks
Got
great.
to, right?
Think
Yeah.
about the name, Dr. Tip. What?
Yeah, right?
I'm with it.
You feel me? I got to go get my PhD. That's another story.
What's
I mean,
yours?
this is the last podcast I'm ever going to wear without glasses, so, like,
Hey.
pretty exciting.
You guys can both wear tinted glasses.
Gucci
There you
gang,
go.
Gucci gang.
There you go. I don't have a good one. I was in
You set us up with that. Like, you had something like
I don't know. I don't know why I brought it up, but like this was after maybe this all connects it with like, you know, maybe I was never good at sports because I was going through so much physically that I didn't know like how to control my body. So, but I always wanted to entertain. I always wanted to make people laugh. And I now it makes sense. And now for athletes, it's so much easier. But like, you wouldn't really know athletes' personalities unless they already were like a big superstar or something
Right.
like that. Now, like, we know high school kids before they even get to the league. Like, we know
TikTok
everything
is
about
real.
them. We've been watching their highlights.
Right.
You know, like kid like Bronny James or something like that, like LeBron's son. Like,
Yeah.
I've been watching that kid for 5 years, and he's like just in college now. So I go back to my my high school time, I would never be in the game if it was serious. Like, if I'm in, something's gone horribly wrong or horribly right. But, like, we got to be up by, like, 25 with under 2 minutes.
No in between.
But I think it was a mental thing. Because if you saw me in warm-ups, you'd be like, oh, shit. Who's got that guy? Seriously. Like, you know that, and you know it's like if you're a football player, you see you're on the field before warm-ups. There is something when the music's hitting right that you feel invincible.
Oh, yeah.
But the other team feels it too, which is messed up because they're thinking the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
But like I used to be in those layup lines, you know, doing the smacking the glass and things like that. And I was just like, man, you just look over at kids and they're like, oh man, they're just seeing this tall. And then like the game would start, I go right down towards the end of the bench and they were probably thinking, man, this kid must have done something really bad. He must be suspended for a game or something. No, it was just that bad. But I do remember one time I got into the game and like, this is so dumb, but it's so perfect with how my life turned out because I was given the gift of hype and didn't do anything with it. So I'm out there playing. It's garbage time, but it's like the last game of the season. And I had to have been a junior on the JV team, but it was like the gym was packed and I get in the game. We were I don't even remember. We were either losing by a lot or winning by a lot. So I get in the game and I was ahead of my time because I did not like to be down in that paint area on the low blocks because I was rail thin and people would just elbow me out of the way. No chance. I'm not getting any rebounds, but I could shoot. But nobody wants the 6'9" guy to shoot, you know, in the late 90s or 2000s, you know? So I get a rebound and it's like 30 seconds left. Coast to coast. Spin moves and everything. No dribbling way. Like out of my mind. Spin moves all around. Just pull up, 3, swish. Nothing at all. Just nothing but net. Just absolute swish. Crowd goes absolutely nuts because I was like the character on the team. I was literally dancing on the foul line as other people were shooting foul shots. Like such an idiot. I would have punched me out. But like people would be shooting foul shots and I would be looking at the crowd like just dancing. Like what an idiot. So then I hit this 3-point shot. Oh, everybody's going nuts, right? So they inbound the ball and the clock eventually runs out. And then I was just thinking, man, I have so much adrenaline running through my body right now. What do I do with it? So I start running full speed down the end. Like game's over. But crowd's still clapping and everything because it's not a close game. Nobody cares that I hit this shot 20 seconds ago, but I got to do something with this adrenaline.
By 30 now.
So here I am. I just take off full speed, go from one end of the court to the other end of the court, and I'm just like, I'm about to just, I don't know what I was even thinking. I'm just like, I'm just going to hang on the rim. So I have all this adrenaline going through my body, and I'm just like, I couldn't even grab the rim. Like, so I just ran as fast as I could, went up, grabbed the net, hung from the net for like a couple seconds before I realized how sad that has to look. And then I just let go of the net and I was like, I just had this great moment. And it would have been so cool if I like dunked on the other end or did something like that. But like, I was never good. I was uncoordinated.
Were you 6'9" at this point?
No, I was about 6'6" at this point. So like, I should have been just like, I never worked out. I never like took it serious. So I like
my cheeks hurt from
I wasn't like banging on dude. So like I had everything behind me, all the adrenaline in my body. I'm 6'6" and I could not even grab the rim. I just grabbed the net and then I was worried that I was gonna hang from the net and the net was gonna swing me and I would just fall on my head.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Only thing that could make that better is if you broke the glass hanging from the net.
That would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. That would have been the best. Just
have
like
lost
shattered
it.
backboard, but not how you think. No dunk. They weren't hanging on the rim. It wasn't a big Shaq-like guy. It was an uncoordinated 6'6"
It
kid
was your own net.
grabbing the net.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Dude.
That was my biggest sports accomplishment, though. I hit a garbage 3 after doing like a couple spin moves. and
Down by
then-
30.
Love
Yeah.
to get the footage of that, bro.
Yeah,
Swing
man.
man back in the
Hold
day.
on. Scrap that from the record.
You got
I
a better one?
I got a better one,
Oh, shit.
and there's video.
Okay.
And it was in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
The setup
So-
for this is crazy.
We vacationed in the Dominican Republic, probably me and my family, probably like 4 or 5 different times. We know some people down there and everything in this nice little town called Baibi. And my wife works up at Skydive, Pennsylvania. She's a skydiver, but she does the manifest, so like puts the people on the plane, like, okay, this plane going up, we're gonna have this tin. So she does all that.
She
right?
does that now?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, up in Grove City, yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, we're a weird family. She skydives and I'm
Have you jumped out of a plane? Not to
No.
derail this story. You haven't done it?
No, so let me answer
Okay,
this real
okay.
quick because I have a stock answer for this.
Okay.
So when people ask me, because she's been working there for probably over a decade, she just fell in love with it when she skydived once. It was just like, I want to be around these people.
That's wild.
And a lot of people ask me up there, they're just like, have you skydived before? I said, no. Well, why not? And then you have to have a good answer. So I figured so many people are asking me because I'm married to her and I'm always around these people. So I said, it's like running a marathon for me. I've never ran a marathon in my life. Why? Could I run a marathon? Yeah. If I trained, if I really wanted to do it, we could all run a marathon. If we were physically capable, you know, I'm out of shape, but I could physically, if I put my mind to it, run a marathon. If it was like my life's goal to run a marathon before I turn, I don't know, 45 or something like that, right? I could do it. That sounds awful. I don't like running. I don't like,
I'm with you, bro. I never
like,
did a
and you
marathon
gotta
in my
be
life.
by yourself. Like,
Yo,
people got cool signs and stuff, but like, I don't want to run that much.
Nah, dude.
I'm not afraid of it. I might have a heart attack and die after 3 miles, but like, it just doesn't sound fun.
Yeah.
So when I tell people it's like running a marathon for me, I said I could do it, but like, I wouldn't be doing it for myself. It's
Right.
not a bucket list thing for me. I don't want that feeling or anything. It just, I'm not scared of it. I would do it but as soon as I told my wife, Jamie, that I would be doing it only for her, because I didn't really want to do it, she's like, I won't ask you ever again.
Yeah.
Right.
So now when I tell people, sort of like a marathon, you want to run a marathon? If you're not a runner, a lot of people just say no. You want to jump out of a plane? I don't really want to do it, so I'm not going to do it. Maybe if she got into skydiving when I was younger and probably more reckless, probably the Philly years, if she was working at a skydiving place,
Yeah.
I would have probably jumped out of a plane. But like, now I'm just like, nah, I don't want to do it. I don't want to deal with the anxiety of jumping. That maybe with my new glasses, though, I might be jumping out of
Hey,
planes. You never
that's-
know.
Different person over
You
here.
know what I mean? He
My
might
bad. I didn't
become the
mean to
Falcon.
derail your Dominican story.
So, but her boss has a place and he goes down to the Dominican for the winter. And it's like, it's by a couple resorts, but it's off the resort. So you really get to like see like the non-cleaned up version of the Dominican. You get to see like the real Dominican culture. And we go, you know, we've been to dinner at different, you know, people's houses down there and stuff. And like, I can get by with a little bit of Spanish but it's just like, you find the right group of people and you'll make some friends down there and everything like that. So we have a bunch of friends down in the Dominican, and we know a lot of these guys who their job working down in the Dominican is selling drinks, selling food, selling little touristy things out of these little basically shacks. They're like makeshift shacks on the beach. And they all have their different hustles, whether it's food or drink, and some guy's got an iguana, but they know like when the cruise ships come and when the tourists come in. But we see when the tourists aren't there and everything. So there's a basketball court not too far from there. And they call me, like in this little city that I go to, American LeBron, just because I'm American and I'm tall. I mean, they don't know that I hit the biggest spin move 3 in Allen Park High School basketball history for junior varsity. So I'll be walking in the Dominican and I will hear American LeBron. Like, I'll hear it down in the Dominican. So I'm thinking like, all right, I got to play basketball with some of these. And some of them are,
name like this.
some of them are like kids. Some of them are like 10, 12, you know.
Yeah.
But some of them are just like the guys that are on the beach, you know, like my age in their 30s or in their whatever, in their 20s. So I get a basketball. Like, we brought a basketball one time because it's hard to just get a basketball down there. Like, because we weren't near, like, it's things that you think you could just go get it, like Dick's Sporting Goods.
Right.
You got to put some thought behind
Right.
it there because, like, oh, well, there's a store 2 hours away. But do you want to go to a store 2 hours away? Because that's 2 hours there, 2 hours back. You're still on vacation, the Dominican. So I bring a basketball with me with a little hand pump. I got it. This is happening because I talk so much shit by then. I was just like, we're going to play basketball next time I'm down here. So I bring the basketball, just knowing whatever. I'm going to leave it down there. I'm not going to take it back with me.
Right.
So we're playing. I'm playing barefoot, which was not the best decision. But at that point, I was ripped. I had been drinking on the beach all day to where I thought it was a good idea to play on this hot asphalt Dominican, like, basketball court that's got the weeds going through it and
Oh,
everything.
man.
So it tore my feet up.
Oh,
but
dude.
there is this one play where, again, I sort of go coast to coast. Listen, if I grab
Bro, were you
that
having
board on the other
flashbacks?
end, it's mine. It ain't coming out of my hands.
I'm
If
not
I
passing
grab
it to
it,
nobody.
it's my responsibility. So I take it and I dribble all down the court again. And then I just, from the left side, I did a right-handed layup. I'm down in the Dominican. I'm hammered. I don't need to do it with my, I can throw it up with the right because I'm right-handed. Nobody cares, right?
Yeah.
But then somebody's cherry picking. And it's a kid who's probably 8 to 10 years old. No way. Not on my watch. I didn't come down there to give up easy American buckets, being 6'9". So I hit this layup, right?
Yeah.
And whoever inbounds the ball just throws it down to this kid who I don't even know if he knew what basket to shoot on or if he was cherry picking, but he gets it. And I'm LeBron down 3-1 in the finals to the Warriors.
I just
I'm
pinned that
coming.
shit.
I'm coming. So I go full blast. And yes, block the absolute shit out of like an 8 to 10-year-old Dominican boy who might still have nightmares about American LeBron to this day. But the funny thing is like when I put the video out, like there's this, we talk about people in Pittsburgh and how
That's
it's
the
like,
best part. I forgot about this. You said it's on video.
it's on video.
I gotta
And
see
then
this. I gotta see it.
like there's this guy who, I mean, we've known this. Is this guy Chris Benson who does videos, Ben Stonium.
Yeah.
He's like a Pittsburgh
His stuff's
staple. He's
amazing.
been doing like videos for like 15 years since
Yeah.
fake Coach Tomlin, Iron City press conferences and stuff.
Yeah.
So he took the video and did a full NBA Jam remix of it to where it says American LeBron when I score the bucket and then like block. It's a full NBA Jam remix of the play.
Is it on
going the
YouTube or
podcast.
where's that at?
I can get it for you.
All
It's
right.
it's on
We need
social
to see
media
it.
somewhere. Yeah,
need to see it.
It's gotta
but
be in the video.
I it's funny because I brought that up and I was about to just tell you how sad it was that I was 6'6" and I couldn't even grab the rim with all the adrenaline in my body. But then I thought, oh no, there was another time. The greatest sporting play that's ever happened to me was blocking the shit out of an 8 to 10-year-old kid down in the Dominican. It was electric.
Put that at the beginning of
Nasty.
this episode.
No, it's
immediately.
gotta be.
I need to have you saying
With the
I
NBA
blocked the
Jam.
shit out of an 8 to 10-year-old kid. Boom, intro music. Like that's the start of the show.
Then you got to put him actually doing it though with the NBA Jam music behind it. I think that'd be hilarious.
He's on fire.
Dude, that's amazing, man. This has been such a joy for me, dude. Like to grow up listening to you on the radio, to like you're just this superhero to a lot of people, including myself, for what you've done for the city, for what you continue to do on a daily basis, man. This conversation is something that I am super grateful for your time, man, because I know that, like you said, like this is the time where you have a little bit of downtime, and you know, as a dad, You know, I know you're a father as well, so like anything that you take time out of that you could be spending with your family, I take that very, very seriously. So, man, I thank you so much, man. I can't wait to share this episode with not only Pittsburgh but the world, man. Because in my eyes, like Pittsburgh knows you really well, Detroit knows you, I'm sure Philly knows you, but like by the time that you're done, like you're gonna reach a lot more people that don't even know who you are just yet, and I can't wait to watch that because you just have this energy, man. It's positive. It gives people hope, and it's full of life. And so thank you for coming in today, man. I know Trey is also grateful as well.
No, I'm extremely grateful, man. I've been listening to you my whole life since growing up as a kid. So, like, ultimately being able to be a part of your journey and your story, right, man, I'm very excited. And also get the opportunity to tell your story, right, because you shared something with us that you typically don't share. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, you were very vulnerable and very honest. I know a lot of people out there right now get uncomfortable when they hear the word vulnerable, right? But ultimately, as men, we got to stick together and let people know when we're not okay. So you letting us know as your friends, right? I appreciate that, right? And hopefully one day you'll allow us to be a part of your tribe and we'll build a relationship from here, because knowing that you're going through something, it takes a tribe to get through anything. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate that. I know I appreciate that. I know Vinny appreciate you sharing that for sure. But then on top of that, man, like, it's been an honor to share Mike with you and be able to do this, man. It's fun. It's exciting. And who knows, man, maybe we bring the culture back to the city of Pittsburgh and maybe even get, like, the Pittsburgh Pistons. You know? I'm sticking with it. I'm fighting for it. You know what I mean? You heard it here. You heard it live. So,
is there anything that you wanted to say before we wrapped up?
I just appreciate you guys letting me do this because, like I said, I usually don't do this. And it's kind of weird because, you know, we've done different podcasts before as Mikey and Bob, but this was just like an opportunity. I thought I was just like, you know, he's probably busy and, you know, he might not want to do it anyway. And, like, I do also realize that, like, I need to get out of my comfort zone sometimes because I have to start preparing for whatever's going to be next in my life, personally and professionally and things like that. And I know that, like, what do I need? What have I not done in Pittsburgh that I could think of? And it's funny that you reached out to me, and it just so happened that it fell during this week where it's this sort of weird in between Christmas and New Year's week where I'm just like, this is so perfect for me. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just focused on talking to you guys, telling whatever stories I can. I don't have, like, usually in the back of my mind on a regular week, I'm just like already thinking of what I got to do when I get out of here.
Right.
Like, I don't got nothing. So, like, to come in here and, like, I know you're all on some sort of break where you could be with family or doing something other than talking to me. But we all came in here today for whatever our motivations were. And I loved it because, like I said, I can tell how I started in radio. I've told that story, like, I've told a lot of the same stories over and over again. Like, it's so funny, man. You just asked me how I'm doing. I'm just like, it's funny you should ask simply how I'm doing because it hasn't been great. And, like, yeah, I'll eventually, you know, tell that whole story because that's just going to be part of my journey now. Like, there's something that's happened to me within the past, like, week and a half that might change the rest of my life. And if what you're saying is true, if I'm already a pretty okay dude, like, I might have Yin's Venger powers after this. Like, I don't know, I might be able to shoot laser beams or something like this. I don't
turn his tee out like Spider-Man.
Maybe I got the power to bring an NBA franchise here, but if I can get that done, then I'm gonna have to be the first one on that court, though, running full blast.
I couldn't agree.
And
We gotta get you a
grabbing the
dunk.
bottom of that net.
We got to get you a dunk.
trampoline and everything to get to it, though.
Or we need to go down to the Dominican and find that kid.
Dude, that kid's probably been training. He's going to be our starting guard on the pitch. He's like, bro, I got swatted by him.
I'll never forget him.
That kid is the #1 Dominican prospect right now and is going to be in the league one time. And there is going to be a sit-down interview when he gets drafted. And he is going to have a full villain story of just like, I was about 8 years old. And American LeBron brought us down a ball. And then everybody's going to have this, oh, here's this chiseled guy, American LeBron. And it's just going to be me. What a disappointment, American LeBron.
There you go.
You're gonna be sitting there like this, like, yeah, it was me.
Yeah.
I'm
yep,
dead,
yep.
dude. This was so much fun. I
Yeah.
feel like we could sit here and talk literally for, like you said, like I feel like we could sit here and talk for hours. So maybe we set up something in the future. Would love to have you come back, man. Do this again.
For sure.
Whatever we can do to help you continue to tell your story and be
Let's
a
do it.
light and help reflect that light that you are into the world. We're here for it, man. So
I feel like you guys are just doing the exact same thing as we're doing. Like, it's so weird because when you start like a show or a podcast or even just putting content out in the world, you sort of have to decide what you're going to do or who you're going to be. Are you going to be like genuine? Are you just using this for influencing money? Are you going to be like a makeup tutorial person? Are you going to be a gamer? Like, we all have to decide sort of or grow naturally into what we're going to be. But I think you guys have figured out the secret that we figured out so long ago. There is a whole lane with so much, like, it's, when I talk about being in radio and people like not even using their real name, like, that's the start of the not being honest right there,
It's a
right off the
snowball.
rip. Like, you can have a cool DJ name, and I think DJs are a little bit different than what we
Sure.
do. Because people want us to do their weddings and stuff, and I'd be like, your wedding would suck if I'm in control of
yeah.
DJing. Hire Bonix or somebody. I don't know what I'm doing. But there's a lane for being yourself and being positive. Holy shit, that's not even hard to do.
That's it.
Like, and it's good to do that too, because that puts you in a better space too. And it's so simple. And people overlook that, like, no, I can't be myself.
Yeah.
I don't want to be too positive because positive. But the thing I think people are thinking is that we're all sick of reactionary stuff,
Right.
of getting somebody to argue with you,
Yeah.
of getting, I got to do numbers, so this has to be me, you know, calling a person out how they're a piece of shit or something like that.
Right.
There is this lane, and like not even just a good feeling lane, a lane that can be monetized, like full-time job of just being yourself and being positive. It is. And you guys are doing it.
Thank you, man.
You know?
Thank you, dude.
In this city, we'll just fall in love with it. You guys got a better studio here than I think we might actually. So like, you have the tools here to like just keep doing your thing and keep doing it, because the secret to, I think, what we've been successful is doing it in a positive way, being yourself, but also consistent. Because no matter what you put out, it could get 100 views, 1,000 views, 10,000 views, 1,000,000 views, but it's gonna be around probably for a long, long time,
Right.
even after we're all gone. So the content we're making now, if it gets 5 views and you start rethinking like, what did we do or something like that, I'm telling you, there's things people find on like our YouTube channel from like 7 years ago that I don't even know existed. And I'm just like, when I'm not here anymore, my daughter's gonna think that is funny as hell. And I don't care if it's got like 400 views right now.
I just got goosebumps with you saying that, man. I know I'm just committed to like, let's just have this conversation at this point, because I've tried to like, I'm trying to be respectful of your time, but like,
No,
I feel
it's
like
good.
this conversation is so amazing, dude. Like, I just recorded my first episode in here. We have like these white walls. We have like multiple sets that if you kind of move some things around in here. I brought my grandparents in, and I just interviewed my grandparents because they were so influential in my life. And I've kind of come up with this idea, and I was telling him, like, I want to interview like my mom, my sister, and I genuinely don't care if it gets 10 views. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it so that my son can watch me talk to his great-grandfather and see our relationship on camera. We're the first generation that can document this.
Yeah.
Up until this point, photos. That's it. And you're lucky if you get a couple good ones from 2-3 generations ago. So like, I mean, who knows? Unless our whole society gets reset, you know, like it's
Could happen.
You know what I'm saying?
By
But
the
like,
way, odds of that
at
too.
that point, not being able to find a YouTube video is the worst. Is not the worst of our problems. But like,
ready for anything at this point.
I think that like what you said there is so powerful. Like too many people are worried about getting the clicks now. Got to create the content now. Got to create the headline now that's gonna get the. But it like I think we're committed to just, like let's just be ourselves. Let's put it out there to the world. If they receive it, great. If not, we're still ourselves. Like we could put ourselves out there as a persona, and it could also not get received. So like we should, like you said, man. If we're gonna go down, let's just go down as ourselves.
Have fun. Have fun. Be yourself. That's like the secret to it all. Because even if it might take you a while to see, because like you said, like we've been in Pittsburgh for 20 years, and like so many, you both grew up like listening to us and stuff, and like those stories are like crazy. Even a guy like Pat McAfee now.
Yeah.
It's like on ESPN every day. He's like one of the biggest people in sports entertainment.
Yeah.
He like mentioned us in our show like twice last month.
Crazy, dude.
And like that's nuts to me. But also like it's not like we do it for that, but he's from Pittsburgh. And like that's the secret because he's still on ESPN talking like a yinzer.
Yeah.
He didn't explain who we were. He's just like Mikey and Bob out there doing our stuff-a-bus for the 20th year, toys and everything. And I'm just like, we didn't pay for that. We didn't ask him to do that or anything.
Right.
That's just part of the built-up culture here in Pittsburgh, where it's like, yeah, we can all branch out and do our own thing, but like there is something about this city that I've never been in before, where everybody, whether you're coming from radio, podcasting, sports, entertainment, club DJ, fashion designer, like so many of us want to help each other, whether it's helping promote like a New Year's party or something like that, but it's people you mess with. And it's just like, well, if I can't be there, I'm going to help you. I'm going to put this on blast because I want you to be successful. Because then the next time you have a party, maybe I can host it with you and we can do a big party because you then you can go to somebody and be like, our New Year's Eve party sold out. So like, but when I think about doing this for 20 years that I've already done, it feels like 5 because it goes by so fast because you love it. Mm-hmm. But so many people just give up because they don't know what their lane is.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a lane. Like I said, we can power rank the top 5 favorite muffins that we like to eat. And that's a lot better than hearing what's going on like in a war overseas or what's going on with the next political cycle. It's stupid, but it's that little sliver of positive energy or even just stupid energy that's so different from what people are going to get unless they really have their For You page like down to their algorithm. Because I'm trying to achieve that too through cute cat videos to where I don't see anything bad on the internet. So it's just like, give me cat videos. I'm gonna like these all.
Yep.
So it's like being authentic, being yourself, that positivity. I see it with you guys and what you do. And I just hope that me and Bob, when we're done and gone and we're just a memory and stuff like that, when people think about what we did, it's not necessarily like one show or our Stuff-A-Bus toy drives or, us doing something funny at the Penguins game or hosting a big screen or reading the. They'll just remember probably that we were like nice, just like seemed like dudes you could hang out with or something like that. Like it ain't even that complicated. Like that's just what I think people might want to be remembered for. And I think that's what I want to be remembered for is just like when this is all said and done, if people just think I was a pretty nice guy, that like my daughter had a cool dad, my wife had a cool husband, and like I gotta like have Pittsburgh as my playground, sort of, with my best friend that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Around in a shoe store with. It's like I hope you guys can have better success because like this could all go away for me tomorrow and I'd be like, damn, I feel like I got like a handful of rings and we win a championship every year just because I always tell people I wish people could feel what, and like I think our athletes here probably feel it a lot, but they get the negatives so quick. We don't. Like we get scoring 7 goals in a game with the Penguins, like when they beat a team by 7 goals, like that positive feeling where you just feel like nothing can stop you. We get that every day. And I always tell people there's like a handful of people who know what it feels to have a whole city behind them. But like, I feel like every day Pittsburgh is just behind me. No matter where I go, no matter what I do, no matter what I'm talking about or posting. It could be a stupid video of just, I don't know, me in my garage talking about something dumb, but just like, I feel that there is a whole city behind me. And I also feel, and this is one thing that I need to get better at, but like, it's a thing. I respond to everybody basically that sends me a message. I spend so much time responding to people. There's people that I've never met that I've talked to for 10 years online through our show that live in other countries, that live in other states. And when I die and like my daughter and my wife go through my phones, there is just going to be years of conversations that I have with people who it started with the show, but now I'm just having like regular conversations that like I don't have the time to talk about what your life is like on our show. Like we have these 5-minute little bursts that I have to talk in.
Yeah.
So I have so many of those conversations going. And that's another like just piece of advice, because your podcast could turn into the next big thing tomorrow. But if you don't keep that conversation going with the person who was there when like nobody was listening or nobody was watching, like that person was with you from the rip. Like that's the person you gotta make time for those people.
No doubt.
But the problem is after 20 years, I got like, I got so many of those going. Then I feel bad. I'm like, oh man, it's been like a day since I responded to this person. But like that, you got to keep sort of that mentality. And I think Pittsburgh humbles you in a way before you even have Pittsburgh success or outside of Pittsburgh success, where you're usually like, I just think of whether it's an athlete like an Andrew McCutcheon who goes to other places and then comes back. Pittsburgh just sticks into certain people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it's I don't know. I mean, you guys get it, but it's hard to explain this city unless you've been here. Man, I sound like I've grown up here and lived here my whole life, but like.
But you essentially have with your whole adult life. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like you really grew up to the man you are through Pittsburgh. So
this place isn't like, it is in some ways like other places I've lived in Philly and Detroit, but like those places, I never felt like I was just growing up in Detroit. I wasn't anybody. In Philly, yeah, a little bit, but like here, I feel like we have the whole city behind us, like
Because you do, bro.
all the time, and
You
it's a wild ass feeling. Like
it's a real wild.
like you
feeling.
talk about when Kenny did the slide. Yo, I feel like I slide every morning. Like, there's days, I don't even remember, like, the last time I felt like, oh, man, that was a really bad show. Because we have fun every day.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm, like, cheating the system or something like that. Because it shouldn't be this fun, and it shouldn't be
should
this
be, though.
easy. But
That's
it
the
should
thing.
be.
It should be if you're just yourself, man.
Yeah.
You're not cheating anything. You're living your authentic self,
Yeah.
and it's a model that other people. That's why they're stuck to you, bro. Not because they want to be you or whatever. Like you've beat the game of life, and not say that doesn't mean that life's easy. You have your things you go through. Everybody has things they go through. We suffer loss. You know, we suffer all these things in life. You're not immune to those things, but like, you know, the fact that you can be yourself in those things, that sheds such a light on people that feel like they can't be themselves when they're going through it. So
When I was growing up, I had a big dream. I had one dream. I just wanted to make enough money to own a ranch-style home and drive a Jeep Grand Cherokee. That was it. I've never made a goal for myself in life other than that, and I did it when I was 23, and I haven't set a goal for myself since. I go through life with no goal at all. I just want to be happy, whatever that means, because, like,
you are
if
the
you
people
have a
from
goal-
the soul that are just like playing the ukulele and strumming along and setting
Dude.
people free and just,
Let me tell you, like, one of my best friends is DJ Bonix. He's Wiz Khalifa's DJ and everything like that. He is just one of the best DJs on the planet, but he has been one of my best friends for like the last 2 decades. Like, he is my friend that I didn't grow up with, that I found along the way. And I always tell him, like, we can't wait till like, and we have these conversations all the time where it's like, we can't wait till so many people wait till the end of life to find out like, okay, I did my work for this time. Now let me enjoy what, like 5 years where I get to be happy, if that. Like when maybe you can stop working, if you can even ever stop working. So like, to me, and I don't want to be like, this is the secret of life, but like the quickest you can find out in life what makes you happy and have enough for you and your family, like I could be living in a shack in the Dominican, just being American LeBron I could leave tomorrow and like, if I'm happy, then that's just what I'm going to do. And I think so many people are scared to like chase happiness or scared to like make, like goals are usually like, I want to make 6 figures. Well, if I made that, I want to make $500,000. If I made that, I want to make $1 million. If I made $1 million, I want to make $2 million. I just wanted a Jeep Grand Cherokee and a ranch style house. And then after that, I didn't want to set any more goals. I'm like, I kind of did what I wanted to do. Now let's just have fun. It's weird. I don't know, but it's worked for me.
No, I agree, because I feel like life is about freedom. You know what I mean? Freedom to do as you please, freedom to love who you love, and freedom to be able to do the things that you really want to do, right? And that's what everybody's chasing. That's why I feel like everybody works so hard. Then they forget about who they were when they were that kid still dreaming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I tell myself, I never want to forget about the kid who was dreaming, because those dreams became my goals, and those goals became my reality. So, like, with that, man, like, we're searching and we're chasing freedom. A great time, not a long time, but a great time. And I would be damned if I have to go and look back on my life and said I worked every single hour and I didn't actually enjoy my freedom, because it's cliche as hell. It is cliche as hell.
Yeah.
That life's not promised and neither is tomorrow, which is very true. It's cliche, but it's the most truest thing that you could think of.
Yeah.
If you died tomorrow and you said all I did was work, you lost yourself, man. So if you're looking for freedom, start looking for it now. Don't wait for it. I'm not waiting for it no more. And I think that you said it best, and you definitely put it in perspective, is that anything that you do in life is a choice, right? I always tell people, like, yo, life's a game of inches. And why I say it's a game of inches, because the difference between bitter and better is only a few letters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So enjoy life, man. Be free.
real.
That's why I can see why you haven't set any new goals, because what's the point, man? You're living your dream. You're enjoying it every single day. Like, I'm not sitting there daydreaming about my dream. I'm dream walking. Ooh, I'm stealing that. Matter of fact, making that into a shirt. I'm dream walking. I like that.
Baby.
I like it. Trey coming in at the end with the merch idea.
I like it. Yeah.
Listen, we don't have any sponsors yet, so we need to push some
Get those merch sales. Dream walk. We're dream walking, baby. We're dream walking.
Your adversity is your opportunity. Let's keep it moving, man. So I appreciate you coming on the show as well.
Yeah.
I know Vinny said 100 times.
We usually do like a separate outro once our guest leaves, but I feel like because of the message that you're putting out into the world, I feel like it would make sense to have you say our final sign off. So what we usually say is like, we're Athletic Aesthetic, and he says,
we love you.
So would it be cool if we set it up? We're Athletic Aesthetic. Jesse will be like a fire fingers over there on the switch. He'll switch it to you, and you say, we love you.
I can do that.
My man's over
Hold
there
on. Let
ready.
me get this positivity ready. It's got to come from the heart, right? I can't fake it.
Yeah, while you're getting that ready, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, check out the channel.
Yes.
Follow it on
Yeah,
social
we got
media.
numbers.
We
We got to get them numbers.
You know what I'm saying? Run it up, baby.
Run it
Pittsburgh,
up, run it
let's
up,
go.
run it up. Actually, hold on. Give it back to Mikey so they can find them on what podcast, what I'm saying, what's your Instagram, all those handles, all those things.
Usually just FS Mikey on all the socials. FS stands for Freak Show. So just Freak Show Mikey. And then my partner, who's been riding with me since we played Little League Baseball, is just FS for Freak Show, Big Bob. So FS Mikey, FS Big Bob. Podcast is, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts, you can find us, YouTube channel. Just Google Mikey and Bob. You'll find us.
Go look up ball shorts. You'll thank you.
If you go in our, it's funny because when we went on our holiday break, we just told like the people that we know will be sad when like episodes aren't coming out. We just said, just go to our YouTube channel and go back to like pick a year, like 2010.
Yeah.
And just watch clips and
Yeah.
see,
Wild.
see what existed then that is just like, oh man.
Can we
they
make a
were
ball
way
shorts
off or
remix with
something
you?
like that.
Part 2. You don't even know what I'm signing us up for right now, but I'm with it.
Yeah, we did a video like probably 10 years ago called Ball Shorts.
It's 13 years ago. I looked it up this morning.
13
'cause
years
I was
ago?
like, what was that song? 13 years ago.
I think I
See-
might know the song. Say the song.
I don't remember how good. It's like they
Home
literally.
run in my motherfucking ball
Yeah,
shorts.
I've
Slam
heard
dunk in
that.
my
I've
motherfucking
heard
ball
that.
shorts. Scoring goals in my motherfucking ball shorts. I wrote that in
Wearing
probably like
shorts that
15
are literally to
minutes.
here,
We
just
shot a video.
Mikey
yeah.
and Bob shirtless, just playing sports.
And I feel like since we did that, shorts have come back. Man.
Yeah, they
because if you
have,
see in the
bro.
video, we were wearing like baggy like basketball
it, dude.
shorts, but like I remember in my sad time when I was playing basketball, I used to hate because this is like post Fab 5 baggy shorts, black socks. I used to hate when we had like the shorts because I was so tall. I'm just like, what are we even doing here? And that maybe is where ball shorts was born. Yeah.
Inception of ball shorts.
The ball shorts.
Man,
I don't know how that would go for me, but I think it would go great. To be honest.
leave it at that.
But then again, like consistently putting out content, like 13 years from now or whatever, you might look back on this episode and be like, remember when, you know, we heard the story about what our greatest accomplishments were athletic wise, and
Yeah.
then you
No,
know,
this is one that I'm bookmarking in my mind as one of my favorite conversations. Not even just podcast, bro. I mean it for real. Like this conversation's, you know, it's a good for the soul conversation. So,
100%.
you know, I
Yeah.
got a lot out of this. Are we ready?
let's do it.
We want to do this?
Yeah, you and I, 1, 2, 3.
All right. How about I'll say this is, you say this is athletic, and I'll say aesthetic, because you're the athlete, I'm the artist,
Okay.
and you say we love you. All right. So we're gonna go wide, and then go.
Am I going
so
here?
You're right there. Ready?
So I'm ahead with the ladies and gentlemen. This is athletic.
So thank you guys for viewing. Seriously, I hope you enjoyed this show. This has been a great joy for me. I know for Trey. Thank you, Mikey, for coming in. So we're going to send it off with our sign off right now. This is
Athletic.
Aesthetic.
We love you.
Boom. Let's go, baby.
And he did the point.
That felt really good. That felt
shit
good.
was really good.
I didn't even think I was gonna point, but then I pointed, and it felt like that's Edgar Snyder right
That
there.
was
That's Edgar
Edgar
Snyder and
Snyder.
Associates. I feel like there's never a fee unless we get money for you. I
There
feel
it
like
is.
that's an Edgar Snyder finger right there. Watch out.